head coaches. But following the glory came the shame. NCAA sanctions, fewer scholarships, fewer wins. But there's a hurricane warning here in South Florida, and it looks like Miami football is on the way back. Few coaches have earned more respect than Virginia Tech's Frank Beamer. He's made the Hokies a perennial college football power. Defense has always been a hallmark in Blacksburg. But what the Hokies need this season is to have their senior quarterback, Al Clark, to remain upright and healthy if they're to make a 6th straight bowl appearance at season's end. And the Hokies have arrived on the field of the Orange Bowl. It's the Big East season opener for Virginia Tech and Miami. Hi, everybody. I'm Charlie Steiner. Both Miami and Virginia Tech both won easily in each of their first 2 games. The Hurricanes beating East Tennessee and Cincinnati by a score of 104-29. Virginia Tech beat East Carolina and Clemson by a combined score of 75-3, 37-0 at Clemson last week. Tonight, questions about both teams, however. Both the Hokies and Hurricanes will find out a lot about themselves. Virginia Tech has only 3 returning offensive seniors back. How good is their football team? Miami, on the other hand, coming out of the shadows of sanctions and lost scholarships, will find out where their program is tonight, Todd.
Well, one of the things that's key for any successful team is to have a running game and an effective running game. Miami has 3 terrific tailbacks spearheaded by Edgerrin James. Last year in 1997, Edgerrin James rushed for 1,098 yards. He is the next great tailback for Miami, and he does all the yardage sharing time with Jackson and Davenport. He is certainly a key for the success of the Hurricanes.
As far as Virginia Tech is concerned, as Al Clark goes, so goes their football team.
That's exactly right. Al Clark is certainly the key to the success that they have on offense. He is to the Virginia Tech program what Donovan McNabb is to Syracuse in throwing and running the ball. He simply cannot be hurt, and he simply has to have a great game for Virginia Tech to win tonight.
In just the 3rd game of the season, a vitally important ball game for both clubs. And the kickoff is coming up. They deferred. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Charlie, these 2 teams have a history of making big plays in the kicking game. And in early season games and close games like we expect tonight, oftentimes the kicking game means the difference between winning and losing. It was a year ago in Blacksburg. The game went to the Hokies 27-25, and the Hokies' Carl Bradley got a kick block right here. Now, the number of blocks for these teams since '95 is impressive. They use special teams as a weapon. It's an integral part of the game. Frank Beamer's Hokies have blocked 22 kicks, and the Hurricanes have blocked 28 kicks in Butch Davis's 3+ years. Tonight, let's keep an eye on a couple of key playmakers, Keon Carpenter of Virginia Tech and Nate Brooks playing in his hometown of Miami. It's muggy, Charlie.
84 degrees. The humidity is 80%. The air is thick, and the night is heavy. And we're underway, and Miami will receive. This is Darrell Jones. No, it isn't. It's Aaron Moser cutting in front, and Moser heads for the sideline and down at the 20-yard line. So now let's meet the offensive unit of the Miami Hurricanes. Scott Covington, the 5th-year senior, making his 3rd start of the season. He's got a bevy of wonderful wide receivers led by sophomore Reggie Wayne, who broke the freshman receiving record that had been set by Michael Irvin. And the offensive line anchored by 280-pound senior Ty Wise. So we're underway from the Orange Bowl. First play from scrimmage. Edgerrin James, the deep back. And Covington has a lot of time throwing underneath, in and out of the hands of the fullback, Nick Williams. Now for the defense of Virginia Tech, John Engelberger. He is always a busy defensive end. He'll be in on a lot of tackles tonight, as will Lorenzo Ferguson, who last week set a Virginia Tech and Big East record with 3 interceptions. And the secondary, watch for Pierson Prelo. And he came up awfully big last year against Miami in the Virginia Tech 27-25 win at Blacksburg. Edgerrin James just gets a couple of yards up the gut. It is 3rd down, about 7 to go.
One of the things that Miami wanted to do is to be more effective on 1st down, and going to the play action incomplete has really hurt him here early in the drive. But Edgerrin James is the man. You see right there, those two youngsters, Gonzalez and Bibla, are both freshmen. First time in the history of Miami that they've started freshmen on the offensive line. They're 2-0, so far so good.
And now on 3rd down and about 8 yards to go. That's Santana Moss in motion. And here's Edgerrin James. He's got a first down to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 12 on the play. Lauren Johnson, the cornerback, made the tackle.
Good call by Larry Coker, the offensive coordinator. Obviously, Virginia Tech thinking 3rd and long that they're going to throw the ball downfield. Great fake to get the secondary back. And Edgerrin James shows impressive speed for a man, 220 pounds. Supposedly, he had run a 4.35. And as Charlie and you and I go over this over and over, with regards to 40 times, whatever, but he can run.
And he's got some power. Can break a tackle, and then some. Finally run out of bounds at about the 38-yard line. Pearson Prelo with the tackle, and another first down. A pickup of 27 yards on the play.
Take a look at the limp leg that he gives to the defender within the tackles. Right there, it appears that he's going to be stopped, but instead he's able to shake off the tackler and cut up the field. That's a great job by James. Dwayne Thomas was somebody who was very effective at this. Take a look right there. There's the limp leg. Heads up, stiff arms, cuts to the outside. As we pointed out, some tremendous speed. Fortunately for Virginia Tech, Prelo had the angle on it.
And so first down at the 38-yard line. That's King in motion. And Covington in trouble. And down. Back in his own territory, Corey Moore with the sack, his 2nd of the season.
Virginia Tech had exactly what they needed there. Corey Moore at 6 foot, 218 pounds. Very small for a defensive end. But he's a 4.5 guy that flies off the edge. And, of course, colleges will copy what's happening professionally. Everybody loves Derek Thomas and the problems that he creates with his great speed. That's what Moore does for Virginia Tech.
A loss of 11 on the play. Moore had 4 quarterback hurries last week at Clemson. And here is Edgerrin James, and this time he gets nothing at all, maybe a yard.
Pulling guard cut to the outside, and James thought he saw a sliver in between the tackles, but it wasn't to be. Now Miami comes up 3rd and long, and the pressure goes back to Covington.
Engelberger and Nate Williams, the interior of the Virginia Tech defensive line, made the tackle. And so it is 3rd down and about 20 yards to go. Just underway. 12.5 minutes to go, first quarter at the Orange Bowl. It's the Big East season opener for both clubs. Trips to the left. And Covington steps up, fires. Complete.
No,
he trapped it.
No.
Andre King trapped it at the 29-yard line. It will be 4th down.
Arguably the toughest throw for a quarterback is that deep comeback route, especially to the left if you're a right-hander and vice versa. You have to throw across your body and throw somewhere like 35 yards downfield. King is wide open. The protection is good, but the ball just isn't there. King unable to fool the official. Covington just didn't quite have enough arm strength to get it out there.
Andy Crosland now will punt it away. Crosland averaging almost 42 yards per punt, and it's a good one. It'll be out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Let's see, they're going to mark it way up there, about the 17-yard line. But there's a flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage. It's a Big East officiating crew headed by Dennis Hennigan. Ooh.
Once again, the big issue here, Charlie, if it's holding against defense, was that before the punt? If it is, they'll tack it on. If it was, or excuse me, after the punt, if it's before, either way, Miami's certainly going to take it. That wasn't a very good punt, and it was after possession.
Butch Davis in his 4th season at Miami, trying to turn around the fortunes of this program.
I find it interesting, Charlie, that at 24-12, they talk about that he's struggling. You know, how many coaches would like to have a 67% winning percentage? And, of course, Beamer at Virginia Tech. 5 straight bowl games for the Hokies over the last 5 years. He certainly has done a tremendous job with that program.
And so on the heels of the holding penalty, Virginia Tech will begin this series, their first of the game, at their own 8-yard line. Harrison and Hall are the flankers to the top of the screen. And from the shotgun on the first play of the game, quarterback Al Clark. Throwing, sideline, and he completes it to Angelo Harrison. And Harrison is out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Now let's meet the offense of Virginia Tech. There's the quarterback, Al Clark. He is their everything, especially because of a bevy of young wide receivers, primarily untested. Although Ricky Hall caught a 56-yard touchdown pass last week at Clemson. Derek Smith and Dwight Vick are returning starters. Everybody else is new on the offensive line for the Hokies. And so roughing the passer.
Well, that's certainly costly, and boy, I don't know about that. That seemed like just a reasonable hit. Leonard Myers coming off the corner to deliver it. I guess the elbow thrown out at the end is what the official caught. Butch Davis was talking about that's something that they just need to overcome, is some of those mental errors. But in truth, Myers, that unfortunate call.
On a series that began at the 8, is now out to the 33-yard line by virtue of a completion and a penalty. This is Lamont Pegues, and Pegues is to the 35-yard line, maybe a gain of 1 on the play.
I say that was costly, Charlie, because they had a situation with the punt and penalty that they were playing field position early on. Now Virginia Tech is out of bad field position. Al Clark certainly is a master of the play-action fake. I thought that was a throw. Tuck that away. Had a little Rex Kern in it.
Pegues, who is averaging just 3.3 yards per carry this year, gained 1 on the play at 2nd and 9. Hall and Harrison flanked to the near side. Here's a little option toss to the fullback, Cullen Hawkins. And Hawkins gains maybe another yard on the play. That's Nate Webster making the tackle. Now let's meet the defensive starters for the Miami Hurricanes. Damian Lewis wears a size 14 shoe, but the question is, can he fill in the shoes of the likes of Jerome Brown and Cortez Kennedy and Warren Sapp? Dan Morgan leads the team in tackles among the linebacker core and everybody for that matter. Edward Reed caused a fumble and an interception last week. He blocked a punt the week before. He is a big play man in the secondary. And so now on 3rd down and 8. Clark from the shotgun. Gonna run with it, and down he goes at the line of scrimmage, and that's really about all. It was Matt Sweeney who made the tackle.
That's a big play, Charlie. Miami had come with a blitz, a safety blitz from the outside. They had 7 coming. Clark almost able to sneak through and break protection. He'd have had a 20 or 25-yard gain had he done so. Great play by Sweeney to drag him down.
Jimmy Kibble to punt it away, and Leonard Myers is standing back at his own 10-yard line. Kibble averaging 46.5 yards per punt through the first couple of games this season. It's blocked and falls dead at the 38-yard line. And there's an injured Hurricane back at the 25-yard line. It will be Miami ball, but there's an injury at the 25-yard line.
Well, Charlie, Kimball really took his time. The idea of a 2-step by the punter, only taking the 2 steps, is the idea to maximize efficiency. And in that case, Kimball, caught the ball, just took his time, and Miami able to come up the middle and get a piece of it.
That was the 4th blocked punt of the season already for Miami. And as Dean Blevins told you at the top of the program, special teams and the ability to block punts, very key for both Miami and Virginia Tech. And now the Hurricanes are sitting pretty.
It's the injured player, but a great reason to be injured, certainly for Miami. Take a look from the outside right here. Puts pressure right here on the up back as to who to block. Because here Brooks is going to come from the outside. He opts to block the inside man, doesn't get a piece of it, and he's able to lay out. The effort by Brooks is just outstanding. He gets there so quickly. Watch to the left of your screen. He actually slides on the ground, gets the hand out right there. Well, that's just a tremendous job by Brooks. And let me tell you something, having blocked a kick in my time, or a few, when your arm and shoulder gets extended like that, it is painful, but certainly a beautiful kind of pain for the Hurricanes right now.
It was also his 2nd blocked punt of the season. And so let's see what Miami can do with this break with Edgerrin James a single back. Here's James. You just can't tackle him with just one hand. as Corey Moore found out. A pickup of about 2 on the play for James.
The thing with James in that particular situation, the thing he needs to improve, great speed, great power, but his vision. He's right behind his back. He has a great opportunity to cut to the outside, but he just burrows his head, and as a result, it's a minimal gain.
Last year, James carried the ball 20 times at Blacksburg for 78 yards. But it was James Jackson who came off the bench, who was the rushing star of the game. We'll be seeing Jackson before long. Well, there's a flag. And just a gain of a couple that will likely be negated. Nate Williams with the tackle. Well, it's offside.
Charlie, you and I did that game last year, and Jackson was just tremendous. He came off the bench with a couple of long runs, most prominently a 78-yard touchdown. One of the things that you can do in having 2 very different kinds of backs, James obviously is somebody who pounds in the inside. Jackson, with the nickname Jet, cuts to the outside and makes some people miss. So right now I think that I like Miami's game plan. You want to pound some people inside to set up some play action passing later on.
Let's go downstairs now to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Yes, the word we get on the sideline at Miami is that Nate Brooks is out with a dislocated shoulder. We'll try to confirm that, but that's the early report down here. He certainly is not expected to go back in and play tonight.
That was a tough break, but a well-earned one, blocking the punt. And now on second down and a little less than 5, the pass is complete to Reggie Wayne. Wayne is brought down at the 22-yard line and a first down. Pickup of 11 on the play.
When I asked Coach Butch Davis who is your go-to guy if you had to pick somebody, he certainly said Wayne. Wayne is somebody who has the tremendous hands, more of a possession receiver. There he is with the hitch route, cutting to the outside and getting as much yardage as possible. So many times you see for you young players out there making the hitch and trying to make all sorts of moves to get open. Instead, Wayne goes north and south, gets some extra yardage for the Canes.
A 6'2", 190-pound sophomore from Louisiana.
Similar physique to the guy's record he just broke that you saw on the graphic, Michael Irvin.
On first down, Covington looking sideline, incomplete, intended for Santana Moss. Now let's go back to the studio for an update.
Hey, Charlie, Florida and Tennessee. Florida trying to pound it in here. Terry Jackson fumbles at the goal line, recovered by Tennessee, so no score in the first quarter. Chaz?
No score in the first quarter here, and Miami now with the most serious scoring threat of the early part of this ball game. Second down and 10. Covington is 1 of 4 for 11 yards. It is second down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Covington calling a play at the line of scrimmage. Quick toss, heading for the corner. Did he catch it? No. Intended for Reggie Wayne, couldn't quite hang on.
Interesting play by Covington. He saw that he had man coverage with Wayne on the short side of the field. So when it came to the other side, take a look at the move here. Good chuck at the line of scrimmage by Carlton, but take a look at the effort. Almost comes up with the ball. Interesting too, Charlie. Take a look. I seem to always get off on this. Notice that Wayne is not wearing the tackified gloves. And on a night like this, which is so muggy, that actually might be a good idea because your hands are going to be wet.
And so on third down and 10 at the 21-yard line. Wayne and King flank to the left side. Fumble on the snap. Covington recovers the fumble.
Well, that's a tough thing to do on third down.
And so a field goal try. From 40 yards, make it 41. Andy Crosland is 2 of 3 on the year. His longest is 41. So this would match his season high. Did he make it? Just wide. So Crosland now 2 out of 4 on the year. And Virginia Tech dodges a bullet. Coming back with their second series in just a moment. And so now it's Virginia Tech's turn. Virginia Tech beat Miami last year in Blacksburg, 27-25. Virginia Tech has lost 4 of its last 5 games on the road. Lamont Pegues gets nothing at all. The ground game of Virginia Tech certainly hasn't fooled the defensive front of the Miami Hurricanes. And there's Dan Morgan, who's their leading tackler, with 38 through the first 2 games. 3 for a loss, now make it 4 for a loss.
Interesting situation with regards to Morgan in the recruiting process. He was a running back linebacker, and 3 of the coaches said, we're not interested. There's nothing special about him, not blazing fast, not really all that tough, but you put on a football uniform and suddenly this guy's awesome.
2nd down and 11. That's Harrison in motion, and it's a fumble. Al Clark is able to dive on it. The pitch out fooled nobody.
Michael Burrow was able to penetrate the front 4 of Virginia Tech. One of the difficulties that's been happening, or rather one of the things that Miami felt very confident about, is the fact that they could match up front 7 with the front 7 of Virginia Tech, and so far that seems to be the case, Charlie. Virginia Tech has been very ineffective in the running game.
Michael Burrow making his 2nd start. When he started last week, it marked the first time a transfer student had started at Miami since 1985. Loss of 7 on the play. 3rd down and 18 from the I formation. Clark's in trouble. Clark is down at the 5-yard line. Edward Reed, Damon Lewis.
Charlie, one of the things that Miami must have seen, this is the 3rd time that they blitzed somebody from the secondary. Reed is going to come from his strong safety position and penetrate. He just does an outstanding job.
And now Kibble's punt falls dead at the 40-yard line. And so most of this first quarter has been played in Virginia Tech's territory. And Frank Beamer is disgusted with the early going.
Well, the defense of Miami has certainly been dominant, pushing all the right buttons, and Bill Miller, defensive coordinator for Miami, has been concerned. Last year, of course, Miami gave up more yards than at any time in their history in one single season, particularly in the running game, and they're very determined to not have this happen again.
And that is defensive coordinator Bill Miller.
There he is right there. Bill Miller, very folksy fellow. Enjoyed visiting with him.
Edgerrin James around left end. Edgerrin James close to the first down, but a flag on the play.
More than likely that's going to be holding, but Charlie, you're right. That was a terrific move. I'm always entertained by these 220, 230-pound backs that have the ability to move like he does and shake and bake. As Preston Pearson used to tell me when I was playing, he referred to it as sweet feet.
The flag against Miami. And it's holding.
Talking about the feet of James. Watch as he cuts to the outside. The cornerback comes out trying to protect to the outside, thinking that's where he's headed. Now watch the move. So long.
Hello.
So long. Leaves him in his trackers. We used to make reference to Anthony Midget, left without a certain part of his apparatus.
1st and 20. Here's Covington. Throwing, tip, nearly picked. Incomplete, 2nd down.
Jamel Smith is the one on the tip. Jamel Smith, 92 tackles last year, the leading returning tackler. Outstanding linebacker. Able to get the vertical up. And, of course, that's one of the things that they're big on testing here. Take a look. Here's Jamel Smith reading the eyes of the quarterback. He gets a piece of it, and the result is almost an interception for Virginia Tech. But Jamel Smith, number 46, all over the field for the Hokies.
And Pearson Prelo is all over the intended receiver. And so now on 2nd down and 10. Here's Covington to throw long. Wide open. Caught. Touchdown, Santana Moss. 47 yards. 6-0 Miami. Santana Moss's first touchdown of the season. And Miami with the early lead. And since 1983, when Miami scores first, their record is 123-11. And under Butch Davis, 17-4 when they score. Wilmington.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Invesco, managers of 38 no-load mutual funds. You should know what Invesco knows. And by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
And so Santana Moss and his 47-yard touchdown catch has given Miami the early lead.
One of the things the cornerback has to do is he has to take away a side. Instead, he just jumps out of the way and gives Moss the opportunity to run straight down the field. And Charlie, Santana Moss is a speedster. He's a part of that 4x100-meter relay team for the Miami track squad.
Not only that, but when he was in high school, he was a 3-time state sprinting champion. Missed most of the preseason in the first game with a broken jaw that he suffered in practice. And so here comes Virginia Tech, down by 7. Ike Charlton. Oh, is he decked at the 17-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dino?
Guys, we asked Coach Beamer to give us a number on a key issue in the game tonight. He says we've got to keep Miami to having in the high 50s in terms of play snaps tonight. 70 is an average for a team. He said if we give them a lot of plays, they've got too many tremendous talented athletes, and sooner or later they'll break a big play. He said, and then we're going to need some 3 and outs. But that's exactly what Frank Beamer's talking about. Miami's had a ton of plays here already, and they just busted the big one.
7-0 for Miami. And it's 1st and 10 for the Hokies at their own 21-yard line. Chiron Stith is a deep back in the I formation, and that is Mr. Stith. And Mr. Stith is across the 25 and down to the 27-yard line.
Charlie, Dean's point is a good one in terms of the quality skill people that Miami has. However, I think it's incumbent upon the defensive backs for Virginia Tech to hit some receivers at the line of scrimmage. You cannot just let them run. They're just too fast.
And offensively, Virginia Tech's got to do more than just 3 and out. Chiron Stith, who averaged so far this season almost 6.5 yards per carry, picked up about his average on that play. 2nd down, 4 to go. Here's Stith again. Can't circle the end. He's run out of bounds at about the 30-yard line, a couple of yards shy of the 1st down by Delvin Brown, the free safety.
Charlie, so far Virginia Tech has 9 plays for 6 yards. It isn't crucial or any big deal right this minute, but it certainly would do a lot for them if they can get this 1st down, because the confidence factor right now for the offense of Virginia Tech is low.
We told you at the top of the telecast that there were some significant questions about Virginia Tech's offense, what with only 3 returning starters. The left tackle and left guard, Smith and Vick, and the quarterback, Al Clark. Everybody else is starting for the first time. On 3rd down and 1. Here's Stith. Not this time. Brought down back at the 28-yard line. And the Miami defense, which was a question coming into not only this game, but this season, has loomed mighty large here. That's Nate Webster.
One of the things they opted to do is they opted to shoot the gap here. Here comes Webster up the middle. He takes on the fullback and takes on Stith to drop him for only a 1-yard gain. That's just a great job on the part of Webster, who last week, Charlie, had 21 tackles.
13 of them solo. As Miami won easily at Cincinnati. Leonard Myers across the 25 and down at about the 27 or 28-yard line. A 49-yard punt, a 7-yard return. This Thursday, it's going to be Arizona and San Diego State. With Ortez Jenkins and Keith Smith, the Wildcats have the luxury of 2 quarterbacks. The Aztecs, their strength is defense. Coverage starts with Thursday Game Night, presented by Coors Light, and it all preceded with Sports Center at 6:30.
Charlie, Arizona has 2 of the most interesting names. Ortiz, as you mentioned, Jenkins, and their running back, Trung, T-R-U-N-G candidate.
Well, not exactly the Manchurian candidate, but close enough. Meanwhile, an injury on the play.
Charlie, that's Leonard Myers who returned the kick. 2 cornerbacks now for Miami are injured. That's something that Virginia Tech should be cognizant of when they get the ball back to put it up.
Something we will keep an eye on. Edgerrin James. Look at those quick feet. to the 34-yard line. And speaking of quick feet, Larry Beal.
I'm going to show you some even quicker ones, Charlie. Florida and Tennessee. Gators keying on Jamal Lewis. He doesn't get the ball. It's Sean Bryson up the middle. And he's got pretty quick feet. Gone. 57 yards. 7-3 Tennessee.
Never fails that when you key on the tailback every now and then, you can have that sucker play up the middle with the fullback and go the distance.
After a gain of 6 by James, 2nd down and 4. They must get to the 38-yard line for the first down. Flag on the play. Edgerrin James again, this time brought down at the line of scrimmage.
That's going to be a free play. Virginia Tech jumped off sides. One of the things I wanted to come back to with regards to that fullback run is that what an opportunity it is. Anymore, Charlie, the fullback rarely gets to touch the football. Reminiscent of the old line about John McKay when his fullback came into the office and asked, you know, when do I get to touch the football? And he took the one off his desk and threw it to us.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And said, there you go.
John McKay also had that wonderful quote about when Tampa was just so awful. After a game, what do you think about your team's execution? He says, I'm in favor of it.
Not a bad idea.
First down and 10 for the Hurricanes. Edgerrin James, the deep back. That's Santana Moss in motion. And here's Covington rolling, and run out of bounds.
Corey Moore was in pursuit the entire time, Charlie. This man is really fast. At 6 foot 218 pounds, he is really causing some problems for Covington from the backside. Take a look at the left of your screen. Here's the misdirection fake. Now here comes Moore, collides, and he's in pursuit. And Covington can feel him from the backside running all the way across the field. 218 pounds and a 4.5 40. Boy, that's tough. And 56 reminds me of a pretty good, that's a good number for a backer. Joe Schmidt, LT, you know.
Second down, 16 now with King in motion. Here's Edgerrin James. Look at him go across the 40 to the 43-yard line. Picked up 10 on the play, well short of the first down, however, because of the penalty. Jamel Smith and Ike Carlton combined to make the tackle.
It's going to be interesting here, Charlie, how they shake up the running back. Obviously, James is hot here. You know, he's running effectively. I wonder if he might get more than just say, you know, the quarter and a, you know, the 2.5 quarters that he normally gets.
Remember, they've got 3 excellent tailbacks to the Hurricanes. James Jackson, the sophomore who rushed for 142 yards last week, and the Jay Davenport, a freshman. Here's Covington throwing on the run, gets rid of it. The closest receiver was Reggie Wayne. And so on 4th down, Andy Crosland, who is not only the place kicker but also the punter, is on the field. He averages about 42 yards per kick. His longest of the season is 55.
You know, the word beleaguered comes to mind as you look at Covington coming to the sidelines. He just has not had much time, with the exception of the bomb to Moss.
Angelo Harrison standing back at his own 20-yard line. A flag on the play.
All the movement by Virginia Tech causes one of the Miami guys to jump, so that'll push him back 5.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, still 4th down.
Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Guys, Leonard Myers here, just been taped. Slightly sprained ankle. He's been moving gingerly. They'll try to get him back in the game because, as you pointed out, Todd, a moment ago, both corners are out because Nate Brooks is out at least until halftime with that expected shoulder separation. They're going to check it then and see if he might be able to return.
Angelo Harrison down at the 21-yard line. And it was Santana Moss who has been outstanding on both sides of the field tonight.
Interesting, Charlie. You rarely see wide receivers in that position, the sprint position, to go down because historically they're not what you'd call hitters, but certainly Moss there lowers the shoulder, does a great job of pursuit. And you know, this is indicative too in college football more and more, Charlie. We're seeing more starters and more guys that play a lot of football be on the special teams, not simply, you know, the 2nd and 3rd string guys.
And so on 1st down and 10, Virginia Tech has shown nothing so far offensively. Lamont Pegues is again the deep back in the I formation behind quarterback Al Clark. Clark rolling, throwing, and he completes it to Cullen Hawkins. Hawkins, the fullback, across the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Well, once again, it's a situation, Charlie, where the fullback kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Everybody keying on the tailback on the wide receivers, and the fullback, everybody's aware, usually the nondescript blocking guy, but he gets out in the flat. They don't bother to cover him. First down for Virginia Tech.
Hawkins, a junior from Pittsburgh, his second reception of the season, to pick up a 15 on the play. First and 10, Virginia Tech at their own 37-yard line. Still haven't been into Miami territory as yet. Andre Davis is flanked down at the bottom of your screen, and there he is in motion. And Clark is going to run with it and go nowhere. He'll lose a couple on the play. The Miami front seven, of which there were many questions coming into this season, has loomed very large tonight. That's Michael Lawson, 97. He had a recovered fumble already this season, and now a sack.
Well, in this case, I think that Clark just mishandled the handoff to Pegues. And he tried to do what he could to make the most of it, but it didn't work out.
The generic football term is that Virginia Tech is out of sync at the moment. And so on second down and 11. This time from the shotgun. And that's Davis in motion. And Clark running to the 40-yard line, and down he goes there. The tackle made by Edward Reed. Told you he was a big play player, and he has really played an outstanding game early on.
Really has, and of course this is a great open field tackle. This is what drives defenses crazy. They come with the pressure, they flush Clark out of the pocket. Now he starts to run. You're thinking big play, here he goes, shake and bake, but Reed is right there to drop him at the 40.
You know, last year Miami's defense recorded only 16 sacks and only 7 interceptions. And the end of the first quarter, and it's been a good one for the Hurricanes of Miami. Their defense has stymied the Hokies, and the offense responsible for a 47-yard touchdown pass to Santana Moss. 7-0 Hurricanes. So the Miami Hurricanes, who were slightly favored coming into this game, have played awfully well. And Virginia Tech 3rd and 7 at their own 40-yard line. Al Clark's throw is incomplete. Intended for Andre Davis. It is 4th down.
Interesting, they're trailing on the play with the sprained ankle was Leonard Myers. A little bit hesitant, but fortunately for him, the ball was thrown a little bit low.
Miami not only leads on the scoreboard, but look at the total yards. 108.
And one of the things that Dean Blevins pointed out, which was very good, a very cogent point I might add, is the fact that Miami in the first quarter has had 19 plays. Now that figures out to about 78, way too many plays for Virginia Tech to be on the field.
Flag on the play, running into the kicker. And so Jimmy Kibble has been run into, and that will give Virginia Tech first down.
One of the things that shouldn't happen here is you do block a punt, but the chances of blocking 2 in a row are not good. And so the second time around, or third time around rather, you should be inclined to go with the return. They go with the block, it ends up being costly. Right there, there's the effort, and what are you going to do? The official's right there. You got to call it, despite the fact that, you know, certainly people are always getting on the fact that the punter does the Emmy-winning performance. Okay, you know, he did. You know, he looks like he should be in the World Cup. But the point is that if you can get the flag, then why not? And in this case, Kibble able to do it.
It wasn't a yellow flag, a yellow card.
Yeah, that.
First down and 10, so that's Virginia Tech's first foray into Miami territory at the 45-yard line by virtue of the penalty. Angelo Harrison is flanked out to the top of the screen along with Reggie Samuel and Clark from the shotgun. Coming back the other way. Down at the 39-yard line is Reggie Samuel. Picked up about 6 on the play.
Good call by Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator, trying to shake things up, going with the flanker screen coming across the field, making Miami have to look at some different things.
There's an injury on the play as well.
There's Ricky Bussell right there.
Derek Smith, left tackle, the senior from Carneysville, West Virginia, 6'6", 303 pounds.
You know what? Looking at Derek Smith reminded me of something one of the coaches said yesterday when they were talking about their center, and he said he's undersized at 280. I never thought that I'd live to see the day when in football 280 was undersized. Derek Smith, certainly a pro prospect and the best offensive lineman for Virginia Tech. Left tackle. He'll be back in.
Second down and about 4 yards to go. They have to get to the 35-yard line, and there is movement on the offensive line. You know, while Miami got off to the 2-0 start with relative ease, there was one danger sign lurking at the bottom of the page. Too many penalties. In their first 2 games, 20 penalties.
Prior to the snap, offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Damian Lewis encroached there, and it looked like Charlie could have got back, but he decided not to, trying to con the official into thinking the offensive lineman moved. He did not, and the result is 5 against Miami.
So 20 penalties in the first 2 games for 196 yards against Miami. They can't afford to have that kind of penalty number tonight. Way open, overthrown. The intended receiver was Angelo Harrison. He was wide open.
Great call, had everything that they wanted on the pump fake. He came back to the other side of the field, waited just a little bit too long, Charlie. He needed to throw that ball just a little bit sooner. He's open right now. Throw it now. Now it's thrown. And see, watch where the ball ends up. That's unfortunate. Harrison had exactly what he wanted, had the coverage they wanted with the injured corner. Don't tell me that Virginia Tech isn't aware of that. They're going to go up top and give it a try.
Last week, Al Clark was just 7 of 26 at Clemson in their 37-0 win against the Tigers. 2nd and 10. Up the gut, Chiron Stiff. Nate Webster. I think Edward Reed was there also, and Michael Lawson, 97. So it's 3rd down, about 8 yards to go. In order to get the first down, they must get to the 24-yard line. And the ball is currently situated at about the 32. Virginia Tech is going nowhere in a hurry on the ground tonight.
I like a quarterback draw here, Charlie. Screen.
Instead of screen pass. And very close to the first down.
Well, he ran into his own man and completely a missed tackle on the part of the Miami defense, the Miami defender. It's a great effort.
First down.
Here comes the screen. The people are out. Now Stiff cuts upfield. There's the missed tackle, runs into his own man, but able to overcome that and lean forward to get the first. Great second effort on the part of Stiff.
The sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia. The Frank Beamer's team finally getting its offense in gear. Hawkins and Pegues in the I formation. And here's Clark. He's going to run to the 20 and down at the 15-yard line. Leonard Myers was in on the play.
I got to tell you, Webster is amazing. Middle linebacker, number 52. You don't see middle linebackers run down the quarterbacks too often. We talked about all the tackles that he had last week. Some great middle linebackers, guys like Michael Barrow and Ray Lewis, have roamed the interior for the Hurricanes before, now both in the NFL. Well, I like that. Great pursuit. I thought Clark was going to go a lot farther than he did.
And Myers, who is out with the sprained ankle before, was also there. And so on 2nd down and 3. Pitch out. Pegues maybe lost a yard on the play. There's a flag as well.
Might have been a late hit.
Nope, against Virginia Tech.
Well, this is tough because it pushes them back in field goal range. They had a great opportunity here, Charlie, at 3rd and 1 that they could have gone with a play action fake.
Frank Beamer in his 12th year at Virginia Tech.
Illegal block below the waist on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Beamer isn't very happy about it. We've been talking up Webster, how outstanding he is in pursuit. Comes to the play, able to matador the offensive lineman and in on the tackle. Charlie, so many times you see those tackle statistics, you say, oh, that's bogus. There's no way that guy has that many. In this case, he's always around the ball. He's always in pursuit. I can see how this guy gets 20 tackles.
Well, their pair of linebackers, Webster and Dan Morgan, have been ever present. We saw them last year also at Blacksburg, and now Virginia Tech's going to call a timeout. And we're going to take a break as the Hokies regroup. It's 7-0 Miami.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at MBUSA.com.
Angelo Harrison is the one that gets caught with the big penalty. Take a look right here. You're gonna see as it's not all that intentional, but right there at the end he slips and then he catches the back of the leg of Edward Reed, and that's what the official sees and throws the flag.
Edward Reed is lucky there was no damage done to those knees. This is the 11th play of the drive. It began at their own 22-yard line. Here come the Hokies on 2nd and long. Incomplete. The intended receiver was Angelo Harrison. Now let's go to Larry Beal. Larry?
Yep, Charlie. Florida State taking control. They spotted Duke an early touchdown, and it's all Noles now. Chris Winkie, Peter Warrick, slant pattern over the middle, touchdown. 38-10, Florida State.
Get the feeling the Seminoles are a little angry?
Yeah, and once again, you know what, Charlie? The way this thing shakes out, not that anybody wants to lose, but they lost at the right time if they had to lose a game. Because, you know, others are going to fall later on. They'll crawl back up into the ranks. They still got their games ahead of them. Big games.
3rd and 17 for Virginia Tech. Pegues cuts back and down at the 20, well short of the first down. And there's the ever-present Nate Webster in on the play.
Yeah, but Charlie, that was a big play. And the reason I say that's a big play is because if he throws the ball downfield, and obviously at this point Clark isn't hot at all. If he's incomplete, they come in for a 48-yard field goal. Instead, with the gain of Pegues, we're looking at a 38, 39-yard kick. And Shane Graham, Big East Special Teams Player of the Week last week, is certainly capable of this.
His long this season is 53. This from 38 yards away. Money in the bank. So Virginia Tech gets off the schneid. 7-3 Miami. 10:57 to go, first half. This Heisman Classic moment is brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service. Behind his leadership at quarterback, Gino Torretta led the Miami Hurricanes to 23 straight wins in 1991 and 1992, including a national title in 1991. The year he won the Heisman, Torretta led a fourth-quarter come-from-behind victory over Florida State. Darrell Jones and Aaron Moser standing deep following the 13-play, 58-yard drive that took 6 minutes and a 38-yard field goal by Shane Graham. So it's 7-3 Miami. Jimmy Kibble to kick it off. Here we go. Darrell Jones. Oh, boy, just did stay in bounds. And he may have an angle here. Brought down at the 27-yard line by Lauren Johnson. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Thank you, Charlie. Standing by with Bernie Kosar. I think people here know a little bit about Bernie, the national championship coach and just a real popular guy down here. You were telling me about Miami. You're sold on what Butch Davis is doing.
Well, obviously, I'm a little biased being a UM alum, but I think what Coach Davis is doing down here, I think he's doing an outstanding job. I don't think we could have gotten a better person to handle the transition. of Coach Erickson to Butch Davis and what he had to overcome with the loss of scholarships. I think they're going to have a great year this year, and I think he's really bringing them back, and I think excellent. He's got a lot more depth this year, and I like what they're doing with Scott Covington in the offense.
You're doing okay yourself up in Cleveland. Now you're running. Are you going to play? You bought the Cleveland deal.
Well, I have a shade of an ego, but I don't know if myself if I could want to be part of the ownership group, running the front office, a player, a coach. I think I got to save a little bit of time for some of the other people.
Good to see you, Bernie.
Hey,
Thank you.
Good being with you.
Back upstairs, he said it's not even humid down here, guys.
Yeah, he wasn't sweating much either. Here's James Jackson. Jackson with his first carry of the night. Following the 5-yard pass reception to Reggie Wayne, it'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. Pearson Prelo made the tackle.
As you pointed out earlier, Charlie, Jackson was the one with the big game against Virginia Tech last year, over 140 yards rushing on just 9 carries. Earlier in the season, the reporters just love Jackson because he's the guy that just came out and said, I'm the best running back in America. Everyone said, say what?
His goal this year, he says, is to average 10 yards per carry. Currently, he's averaging 11.3 yards per carry. On 3rd down, screen pass set up. That's Jackson. And it's going to be very close to a 1st down. Looks like he's got it. Corey Moore made the tackle.
Didn't look like it was that well developed. But Jackson able to find a little bit of a slit in the defense, able to get down. And once again, Moore in great pursuit.
Last year in his coming out party of sort, 9 carries for 142 yards at Blacksburg. He worked out this summer with Amos Zeraway down here in Florida.
Pretty decent back.
And he's not bashful about his talents. Although this time he fails to get to the line of scrimmage. Linebacker Michael Hawks is there to stand him up and put him down.
Butch Davis, the coach, was telling us yesterday that you could not have 2 more disparate personalities than Edgerrin James and James Jackson. James very humble, very unassuming. Said it's hard to get any word out of him. And of course, in the case of James Jackson, he's a microphone's best friend.
2nd down and 9 yards to go. Nick Williams is the fullback with Jackson in the backfield. And here's Covington to throw. Covington throwing sideline, overthrowing his intended receiver, Andre King. This is for serious football fans. Order the ESPN Game Plan college football pay-per-view package, and you'll get up to 100 college football games for the Big Ten, the Big 12, the ACC, the SEC, the Pac-10, the Big East, and the WAC conferences. To order, call DirecTV, PrimeStar, EchoStar, or your local cable company. ESPN Game Plan. So it's 3rd down and 9 yards to go. Andre King flanked out to the top of the screen. A couple of flankers here at the bottom. Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne. And the whistles blow.
I think that was Gonzalez moving on the right side. Charlie, we talked about that at the top of the show. Thus far, it certainly hasn't been a problem for Miami, and that is the 2 freshmen on the right side.
For the first time in 20 years, Miami is starting 2 freshmen on the offensive line. 73, Joaquin Gonzalez, and 65, Martin Bibla, the right guard.
Well, Gonzalez is a terrific story. He scored nearly 1,400 on his SATs, and a number of the Ivy League teams wanted him to go up there, and Miami did not offer him a scholarship. He wanted to stay home, wanted to play big-time football, so he walked on with a partial academic scholarship, and of course won the athletic scholarship, as you can see right there. Starting right tackle, this is a redshirt freshman. Very impressive.
He turned down an academic scholarship from Harvard. And here's Covington throwing sideline, and it's caught. Yes! Santana Moss again. And another 1st down for the Hurricanes. A pickup of 27 yards.
Well, the thing here is he goes on the short corner route, 3rd and long. And I was just about to point out the fact that Covington had been having a hard time with the touch pass. But take a look. He's going to run the short corner out into the zone. Watch where the ball is. The ball's already thrown. He turns and looks. Look where it is. Over the shoulder of the defender. Boy, that is a beautiful throw on the part of Covington.
He got past Charlton, Prelo, and Carpenter and brought it down. Moss, 2 catches, 73 yards tonight. 1st down. Jackson brought down after a gain of about 4 on the play by Pearson Prelo.
Jackson a little bit frustrated there, thought he had a little more a little more green grass than that. Prelo, tremendous athlete. A 43-inch vertical jump. I mean, that's amazing. Did David Thompson, you know, remember the guy that dunked so much? He was like 44, wasn't he?
When you talk about 43 inches, that is basically 3.5 feet. Jumping 3.5 feet from a standstill position. And the flags fly and the whistles blow again. Boy, this will slow down the momentum in a hurry, won't it? Okay. 7th penalty against Miami tonight.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
7 already. We told you earlier in the first 2 games they had a total of 20 penalties for 196 yards.
Once again, take a look right here. This is the right tackle, Joaquin Gonzalez, trying to get an edge of the pass rushers. He moves his helmet a little bit. Good call by the official right on top of it. Sometimes it becomes difficult. You want to get an edge. You want to step back and get that defender, but you got to be still.
On 2nd and 12 now. Covington throwing long. Incomplete, intended for Andre King.
Charlie, that was a situation where Andre King needed to stay to the outside, and Covington's a little bit frustrated. He's got him on the up route, and instead King starts to fade to the inside. Take a look. Now he has him beat. He needs to stay out here. Instead, he comes back to the free safety. Now watch where the ball ends up. The ball ends up out here, where he thought he was going to have him away from the free safety.
Andre King is a 24-year-old walk-on who spent 5 years in the Atlanta Braves minor league system. And he bagged a $450,000 signing bonus. Gave up on baseball. And has come to Miami to play football. Here's Jackson. Still on his feet and finally down at the 31-yard line, but still a couple shy of the first down, and now a flag.
Charlie, there's going to be a late hit. David Pugh, the defensive tackle, a little bit frustrated as Jackson breaks 2-3 tackles at the very end. Pugh lands on top of him after the whistle. They're going to tack on 15 for the Canes. And this is particularly a bad play when you consider where they are on the field. You know, that would have been a 4th down, and you know, they're a little bit out of field goal range. Instead now they're going to have a 1st down.
Personal foul, late hit on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
That man right there is not very happy. Watch at the end of the play. Clearly he's down, and Pugh is going to come from the right side, right in the middle of his back there with the helmet. The official, you can see him right there. 2 of them, in fact. Boy, that's not good football there.
71, David Pugh, a freshman. And so now 1st and 10. James Jackson to the 15-yard line. Maybe he gained a couple on the play. Ben Taylor, a linebacker, made the play.
One thing Jackson is showing, though, Charlie, is that he's not just a scat back. He's lowered his shoulder and run over a few people in the play before, of course, breaking those tackles. He's not just an outside guy who runs. He's a pretty tough guy.
At 5'11" and 215, that hardly qualifies as a scat back.
Yeah, but when you run 10-4 in 100 meters, that's usually the first thing they say.
That's a scat back with an asterisk, and there's going to be a timeout here. Referee Dennis Hennigan. Big East officials, and they're talking to Covington, who is the quarterback and, of course, the team captain tonight.
It is the official sports of the University.
So they've used 3 minutes and 53 seconds on this 10-play, 58-yard drive so far. And one of the things that we talked about early was that Virginia Tech did not want to see Miami run up about 60 snaps from center. And they are well on their way toward that figure. The play clock, as you see, has gone kaflooey. And so they will keep that number operated down on the field. And here's Covington. Covington. Throwing toward the end zone. Touchdown, Miami! Reggie Wayne.
This is outstanding coverage, or outstanding protection, rather, on the part of Miami. Wayne is going to run a little bit of a short corner route. He goes with the fade. Midget's right there, but he has all the time in the world, so he comes back to the ball on a very, very deep hook He keeps his body between midget and the ball. That's a great job by Wayne coming back to the ball and separating the defender from it with his body, his 6'2", 290-pound body.
A 15-yard touchdown pass blocked. And still in play. And finally brought down. So the kick is blocked, but a 15-yard touchdown pass from Scott Covington to Reggie Wayne. And it's now 13-3 Miami.
Two for 8. You're going to, I can't add.
To 3 Miami on the 15-yard touchdown pass to Reggie Wayne, a 13-play 58-yard drive. And so the Hurricanes with a 10-point lead, and Reggie Wayne, who broke Michael Irvin's freshman record for receptions last year with 48 of them, and that was his 3rd touchdown catch of the season. Andy Crosland will kick it off, and Chiron Stith will be the single back at the old 5-yard line. And there is Stith. And here comes the kick from Crosland. Stith from the 1. Nearly busted it and brought down at the 27-yard line. Todd?
Just as we've been critical a little bit of the young freshmen on the offensive line, right guard and right tackle, Bibla and Gonzalez, take a look at what they do on this particular play. And you get a chance to see the time that Covington had to throw. Pumps once, able to step forward, pumps again, and finally drills the hook route. That's just great protection on the part of Miami, allowing Covington the 5-6 seconds required to get Wayne the ball in the end zone.
And also, did you see the block by James Jackson? And so now it's 1st and 10 for Virginia Tech. And the question about their club coming into the game was all about the offense, and the offense, for the most part, hasn't shown a whole lot. A loss of a couple of yards on the play. Adrian Wilson and Rod Mack were in on the tackle.
Rod Mack is quick, and one of the things that Virginia Tech said that they wanted to do is they wanted to incorporate some option. The difficulty in doing that against this Miami defense is they have so many people that can run. They can't get around the corner because Miami's pursuit has just been too strong. At least it has been thus far.
A loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 11. Al Clark, the quarterback, is one of 3 returning starters from last year. And here's Clark coming back the other way, and is dropped by Jarrett Ferguson. It will be 3rd down and 11.
This is a play that could have been huge. Take a look at Ferguson. Take a look at the fullback. He's going to sneak out there. Take a look at all the green grass out here if he's able to catch the ball.
Clark is 5 of 9 now for 42 yards. That would have been Ferguson's first reception of the night, and the Hokies have had trouble on 3rd down. Clark, little shovel pass. Is that going to be enough for the 1st down? No, it's not. Dan Morgan, open field tackle, preventing the 1st down.
You know, Butch Davison, talking about Dan Morgan, was saying that Dan Morgan is a guy who you put him in shorts and maybe it's not a big deal when he runs the 40, but for whatever reason, when he puts on the uniform, he seems to always be winning sprints. Here he is right here in the middle of the field, and take a look at the pursuit. Boy, that's just great pursuit, great speed on the part of Morgan, running stiff down.
Dan Morgan has had games of 15 tackles or more his last 5 games in a row. Kibble's punt will drop dead at about the 27-yard line. This Sunday night, live at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, it's the Eagles in Arizona. Irving Fryer leading the Eagles against Jake the Snake and the Cardinals. And then on Monday night on ABC Sports, Monday Night Football, the new time, 8 o'clock Eastern, it's the Cowboys and the Giants. Emmitt Smith leading the Cowboys. They take on Danny Kanell and the Giants. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime NFL. 1st and 10 Miami at their own 28-yard line. They lead by 10. A little less than 5 minutes to go in the 1st half. And Edgerrin James slips and falls and loses a yard on the play. Had a bit of rain here last night, but the field is in excellent condition. It's a very hot and humid night tonight.
Inevitably, Charlie, when you're going to make your cut, if you cut left, it's got to be off the right foot. Instead, he tried to cut off the left foot going left, and inevitably you're going to slip. He had a big hole there, too.
2nd and 11, 84 degrees, humidity about 85%. And a sloppy snap. There's a flag on the play. Virginia Tech says it's got the ball. They do, but there's a flag. Let's see.
I think it was Keon Carpenter, and my guess is it's motion, and they're certainly going to refuse that.
Charity will be happily accepted.
No penalty on the play. First down, Virginia Tech.
Just appeared that Covington didn't get the snap, and then, of course, inevitably the quarterback is the guy that sees the ball on the ground, so he should be able to get it quickly. Here's the snap. The ball is dropped. He goes after it on the ground, but it ends up kicking somebody's leg. Spews forth, and Virginia Tech is able to come up with it.
And in ideal field position, 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Lamont Pegues, the deep back in the I formation, and that is Pegues. And Pegues just short of the 20-yard line. He picks up about 6 on the play.
Some pressure now on this young Miami defense to see if they can hold Virginia Tech to a field goal attempt.
If the green jerseys of Miami look a little foreign to you, it's the first time they're wearing the green jerseys at home since 1976. Against Penn State. And they lost. 2nd down, 5. Pegues again in the I formation. Clark calling the automatic. And there's Pegues, and he gets nothing at all. And there's Dan Morgan again and Nate Webster again. Those two linebackers are sensational.
Well, they have them behind the line of scrimmage, and a lot of times both defensive tackles are going to take up the blocking for them. And the result is that both Webster and Morgan can pursue and do what they want. Morgan steps up, takes on the fullback, shuts him off, and able to get in on the play. A lot of times you get those linebackers that play matador and don't want to take on a fullback. Morgan's not that tight. 220 pounds. He's a good one.
3rd down and 4. Virginia Tech just 1 of 7 on 3rd down tries. Did they get the first down this time? It looks like they did. Webster made the tackle. The line of scrimmage now the 15-yard line.
Interesting too, you know, they go with the 2 runs and they don't look like anything special, so you're anticipating, okay, 3rd down they're going to have to throw the ball. Instead they go back to Pegues, surprise the defense back on their heels a little bit and get the first down. Good charge by the offensive front of the Hokies too.
So it's 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, and time is running out here on the first half. Pegues in the eye. Ricky Hall flanked down to the bottom of the screen. Angelo Harrison in motion at the top. Here's Pegues. Pegues inside the 15 down to about the 12-yard line. And he's met by linebacker Michael Smith.
One of the things that Virginia Tech is doing here too, Charlie, is with the clock now down to 2 minutes about, they are not going to afford Miami another opportunity if indeed they continue to run the ball and, you know, and get it in the end zone here. So it's conceivable that Virginia Tech, having been completely outplayed in this half, could come in only down by 3 points.
Lamont Pegues has carried the ball 4 plays in a row for 14 yards. 2nd down, 7. Right up the gut. The fullback, Colin Hawkins, gets to about the 10-yard line, but he's still about 5 shy of the first.
Once again, the clock running, and they've got the opportunity to do one or the other. They could go play action here because, as you pointed out, they've run the ball 5 straight times. Good opportunity here, maybe to get a fake, get a tight end underneath, maybe isolate a wide receiver on a fade.
Virginia Tech has 2 timeouts left here in the half. Miami has its full complement of 3. It is 3rd down and 4. The first down marker is right about the 5-yard line. That's Harrison in motion. Flag on the play before the snap.
Here's the difficult thing, Charlie. I think that's delay of game, and that, you know what, that's so tough on the quarterback now because it's like he has to go by feel. He can't look up at the play clock.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
And you can see that Frank Beamer is frustrated by that. Al Clark has no idea. They're trying to get it right, but they have no idea because he can't look up and see 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Very costly 5 yards at this juncture.
13th penalty in the game. 6 against Virginia Tech, 7 against Miami. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Guys, I just checked with the official who made the call. He said, I raised my hand at 10 seconds. It's up to the quarterback to see it, but I surely agree with you, Todd.
Clock is running. 40 seconds in the half. 3rd and 10. Clark still has it. Throwing toward the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. Cullen Hawkins. For Hawkins, his first touchdown of the season, and the Hokies are right back in it with a half a minute to go in the first half.
Once again, there's the fullback. And he's able to sneak in because nobody's paying much attention.
Cullen Hawkins with his 3rd catch of the season, 2nd of the night. And Shane Graham for the extra point. 13-10. And now Graham is 10 out of 10 for the season. And with a half a minute to go, even though the Hokies have been outplayed here in the first half, they only trail by a field goal.
Cullen Hawkins has a lot to be happy about. Nice catch in the end zone, somewhat of a forgotten man. But right here he is. Nate Webster, who we talked so much about, actually has him in coverage, and he's going to lose him. He's going to be looking in the backfield. Now here, what a great job of getting lost, and he's going to come up and circle, and you saw Webster right there. He's just looking in the backfield. He's got to be on his man here. Take a look. He's looking at the quarterback. Now here he's going to come. Right to the left of him, there's Hawkins. He's got to back up with him. Instead he steps forward. That's my guy. Rats.
Cullen Hawkins has only carried the ball 4 times all year. And that was just his 3rd reception of the year. High, very short kickoff. And the fair catch at the 25-yard line. Now let's go to Larry Beal. Larry.
All right, Charlie, the Buick halftime report is coming up, and Kirk and Lee will join us for a look at Florida, Tennessee, highlights and analysis. We will also have the top 25 rundown. Missouri and Ohio State closer than some might expect, plus never too early to start the Heisman watch. 30 seconds away.
Well, the watch here says 30 seconds left in the first half. Miami has all 3 timeouts left. Line of scrimmage is their own 24-yard line. Let's see what they do in it. Well, has the look of just putting the knee to the ground, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Well, Charlie, once again, this is what we had pointed out. That's how costly the fumble is. You hear everybody booing. The body language of Virginia Tech is saying, hey, you know what? We played lousy. We did hardly anything right. And what's the score? It's 13-10. Miami completely outplayed them, but the Hokies have to feel pretty good going in at halftime.
1 turnover in the first half, and that led to Virginia Tech's only touchdown. But the Hurricanes lead it by 3 at the half. Now let's go back to the studio. It's time for halftime, man.
There's no doubt about it. One of the things that Miami has done so well is on the offensive side of the ball. They have come up with the big plays of which they are famous. We talked about early on the ability to run. Santana Mouse flies by Anthony Midget on the streak route for a big touchdown. But then Virginia Tech is able, consequently, to take advantage of the turnover. And the result is Cullen Hawkins, the fullback, able to sneak through in the secondary, catch the pass from Al Clark. Only down 3 points at halftime, and certainly the momentum, at least at this point, because they're receiving, is going to be Virginia Tech's.
And Virginia Tech, which won the toss at the beginning of the game and deferred, will get a chance with the ball the first time here in the second half. And so Al Clark, 7 of 11, 62 yards. And Edgerrin James, 9 carries, 63 yards. Miami has done well on the ground, but a couple of touchdown passes has given them the 3-point lead. Chiron Stiff to start the second half. Stith is brought down across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean.
Guys, I visited with the coaches. Butch Davis said dumb mistakes have him frustrated at halftime. His team should have put this one away in the first half. He said that Virginia Tech is calling audibles defensively at the line of scrimmage, and it's causing his offense to jump. He said, I'm going to have them change the cadence, and our guys are going to have to listen to Scott Covington better. Frank Beamer said that we played terrible. We're lucky to be down only 3. He said we're going to mix it more up offensively and move our quarterback around a lot. He said defensively we're pleased, except we gave up the big play and we're letting them out of 3rd and longs with penalties.
And so thankfully the play clock is working again. Sort of. And we're ready for the first play of the second half. An injury update. Nate Brooks, who blocked a punt in the first half, is out of the game with a dislocated shoulder. And now here is Moser.
Well, there have been a number of high-speed collisions. As you pointed out at the top of the telecast, Charlie, it's the 3rd game of the season, and nobody wants to say it's crucial, but it's the Big East opener for both clubs. Both of them are unsure as to how good they are because they beat 2 teams and respectively that were not real tests for them. And so the result here is, you know, you're seeing some people put it on the line, playing very hard.
Statistically, in the first half, the 1 turnover by Miami got the Hokies right back in the game. And so while Virginia Tech had time of possession, it was quality time by Miami that really has told the story. As they attend to Aaron Moser on the field, we're going to take a break and come right back. Attitude now on the sideline. He got off under his own steam, although a bit wobbly. And so here comes the first play of the second half. Virginia Tech at their own 25-yard line. Lamont Pegues across the 30-yard line. Edward Reed was in the neighborhood of the tackle. And the linebackers Morgan and Webster.
Interesting that Al Clark always completes his fake. He goes all the way through. And what that has done up to this point is it kept the defensive ends honest and the outside linebackers for Miami. They can't just pursue unencumbered. They have to stay in their lanes.
2nd down and 6. They need to get to the 37. They're at their own 31-yard line. Here's Clark throwing long down the sideline, and that is going to be picked off. Leonard Myers, who sprained his ankle in the first half, starts off big here in the second half, and that's the first turnover of the ball game for the Hokies. Miami's got 1 and Virginia Tech has 1.
Well, Angelo Harrison is the big play man for Virginia Tech, but Myers is right with him, running stride for stride. He looks at his eyes. Now all of a sudden he puts the arm up, and he knows that the ball is coming. Well, the official's not going to call that because he is looking back for the ball, makes the pick. That's just tremendous coverage on the part of Myers, as you pointed out, Charlie, to overcome the sprained ankle.
The flag on the play after the interception, it might be too much celebration. Miami was too happy, and it's going to cost them.
Once again, I'm concerned, Charlie, anytime the officials are empowered to legislate emotion. You know, you make a big play, you get excited. There was no orchestrated celebration there. People came out and jumped on the field. You know, hugged their guy.
It's one thing to stick the ball in the face of the other guy.
Right.
But to show legitimate emotion, it might be overplaying the official's hand. No matter, it's 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. And here comes their first play in the second half. And that is Edgerrin James, and he's across the 10 to about the 15-yard line. John Engelberger, who began his career at Virginia Tech as a walk-on tight end, and now is among the leading tacklers of the Hokie defense, now a junior.
Last year led the team with 6 sacks and 15 tackles for loss. A very good athlete. We're going to see a lot of Edgerrin James, I'm anticipating here, Charlie. Had over 70 yards rushing in the first half. They're going to call his number a lot.
On 2nd down and 8. Here's Covington throwing over the middle, and it's picked off by Jamal Smith.
Trying to take a page out of Virginia Tech's book. They run Edgerrin James on the circle route and try and get him the ball, but this is just a terrible throw on the part of Covington. Take a look. He's going to run the circle route right here. Right there is Jamel Smith. Here comes Edgerrin James. He's got him beat, but he throws just way behind him. Well, that's a tough throw, but give Jamel Smith credit for coming down, getting his hands underneath, and making a very nice catch.
His first pick of the season. That's a second turnover by Miami tonight. Let's see if Virginia Tech can cash it in. 1st and 10 from the 25. Clark in the shotgun. Hall and Samuel the receivers. And Pegues is stood up by Dan Morgan. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins.
Guys, a few moments ago, Aaron Moser rambled off, and he has a mild concussion. There is such a creature. He will not play any longer, number 26 for Miami. Guys, it is really loud. Even though the crowd is not tremendously large, this is a very loud stadium.
You know, it's a mild concussion when it's not yours.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when it's somebody else's, never fails. Yeah. Dean makes a very astute point. I don't know what's mild about it. You can see the young man's in some pain, but that's part of the price you pay for being a special teams bomber.
As Butch Davis discusses, no doubt, that penalty that cost him 15 yards with too much celebration with the referee, Dennis Hennigan.
Charlie, one of the things to point out here is it's suddenly that blocked extra point looms big. Difficult to say in the final analysis where that's going to be, but right now, instead of coming within 1 point with a kick, Virginia Tech has the opportunity to tie. So at the time, it was seemingly innocuous. Now suddenly it looms a lot larger.
We mentioned at the top of the telecast that this was a big question mark game for both teams. Virginia Tech with only 3 returning starters on their offensive side of the ball. Could they move the ball? And where was their team in 1998? As far as Miami is concerned, not only 1998, what is the state of their program? A big test here tonight. And some questions will be answered here in the second half. Right up the gut, it's Cullen Hawkins. Hawkins inside the 20 to about the 19. He appears to be about 4 yards short of the first down, and Hawkins is down now.
Hawkins has had a big game, Charlie. A couple of big catches, including the touchdown, and there, a nice game.
It is oppressively hot and humid here in Miami tonight. Game time temperature was 80, and the humidity was about 90%. And it has not warmed up appreciably.
I'm wondering if that might be a cramp, Charlie. Those are no fun. Boy, those are no fun.
Well, hopefully it's only a cramp. As Cullen Hawkins, who scored on the touchdown pass at the end of the first half, is being helped off the field. Now let's go to Larry Beal. Larry?
All right, Charlie. Stanford and North Carolina. They're tied at 34. Final minute. Joe Borchard put in a quarterback. This is his first snap, and I guess this is why he's in there. Takes off and runs 42 yards to set up Kevin Miller's chip shot field goal to win 37-34.
Here it's 3rd down and 4 for Virginia Tech, and Clark is calling it audible. They have to get to about the 15-yard line. Quick drop, nearly picked off again by Leonard Myers. Ricky Hall, the intended receiver. Now it is 4th down and a field goal try for Shane Graham.
Watch, just as the ball arrives, watch Myers give a little bit of a bump right there to get his arm off of it. Boy, that's great coverage on the part of Myers. There's no way he was going to let him have the slant. I'm impressed with Myers. He's having a terrific game.
Shane Graham and his cousin Caleb Hurd, who's his personal holder, from 36 yards. Did he get it? No! So Miami dodges a bullet.
And you see Butch Davis saying, get off the field, get off the field. He's got some youngsters, some guys that get excited. He doesn't want another penalty like that. But he and Bill Miller have to be very pleased with the stand that Miami had there.
Well, snap was good.
I was about
Protection
to say,
was good.
That's exactly right. There was no problems here. The hold is down. He just pushes it to the right. As we pointed out, that was the Big East Player of the Week, Special Teams Player of the Week last week for 13 points and a 53-yard field goal, but not this time.
And now Edgerrin James to the 20-yard line, and maybe a gain of a couple to mark it at the 22.
Good open field tackle on the part of Charlton to come up and take the steam out of James. Charlie, I was about to say, even with the 2 touchdown passes, it just seems to me that Covington's a little bit uneasy. He just isn't quite in sync.
5th-year senior with his 3rd start of the season. First time he has been a starter. And here's a throw toward the sideline, and that's Santana Moss at the 41-yard line. He was in sync that time.
Just as we were talking about that, he makes a very difficult throw. He's got the corner route moving to his left, which is always a difficult throw for the right-hander, and the young offensive tackle Gonzalez is on the ground.
Joaquin Gonzalez, the freshman, who turned down an academic scholarship not only from Harvard, but Yale, Columbia, Brown, and Cornell wanted him. And he's a tough hombre.
But a little confused. He was set to sprint over either to the huddle or to the other side, and they had to point him in the other direction, saying, now you got to stay out of play.
At least one play. And so it's 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes at their own 41-yard line. Edgerrin James plus 1 tackle, and he picks up about 3 more than he probably should have. Now let's go to Larry Beal.
Charlie, keep your eyes on the ball. Marshall and South Carolina. Chad Pennington takes the snap, gives the ball to Doug Chapman. It's like the fumble-rooski, but this is legal because the ball is not placed down on the ground. Chapman runs for a touchdown for Marshall. They don't have Randy Moss anymore, but they do have Billy Malashevich, who kicked the game-winning field goal. Marshall beats South Carolina.
You know, Charlie, last year we had Marshall. Keep your eye on Chad Pennington. I mean, that is a very good quarterback. I know that Moss was great, but Pennington did some good things.
Edgerrin James, he's doing some good things. Edgerrin James inside the 40-yard line of Virginia Tech, brought down by Keon Carpenter, the free safety. Let's go downstairs now to Dean Blevins.
Well, as Miami makes a big play, it's even tougher for Cullen Hawkins to watch it. The starting fullback out of the game, the first Hokie injured tonight. It could be a broken foot. They're taking him in for x-rays. Definitely out.
Bad news for the Hokies, an 18-yard pickup for Edgerrin James. Good news for the Miami Hurricanes, as James is really beginning to heat up now in this oppressive humidity. 13 carries, 87 yards. That's Moss in motion. James up the gut. James fumbles. It's on the floor. Who's got it? Virginia Tech's got it. The 3rd turnover of the night for Miami.
Now, Butch Davis trying to encourage his charges there. You saw him take the headset off and encourage and clap and say, that's okay, let's go, let's go. He understands that youth will be served, and that means some mistakes. The offensive line gets a terrific push. Take a look at James as he cuts through. He just loses the ball. Now, the ball is right there, right by his head, but he can't quite see it. The only ones that can see it are the Virginia Tech players, and they're able to come up with yet another turnover.
Miami's last 3 possessions have resulted in turnovers. 1st and 10, Virginia Tech. Tyrone Stiff gets back to the line of scrimmage, if that.
Charlie, one of the things that, as you pointed out, Frank Beamer had discussed as we look at Keon Carpenter, the tremendous free safety, and Santana Moss on the sidelines wondering what the deal is. Virginia Tech talked about how we cannot give Miami too many chances. Well, it's going the other way right now. Miami's giving the Hokies way too many chances.
2nd down, 8 to go. Have to get to the 40 for the 1st down. From the 32. Clarksville got it. Spins out of trouble. Heading for the sideline, and then some. Run out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Enough for the 1st down. A pickup of 10 on the play.
The only guy to stop him there is Butch Davis at the end of the run. This is what Al Clark does so well. He's able to break containment. Good pass rush up the field by number 71, Derek Ham, but he's able to do 360, come out, and watch the guy that catches him at the end of the run. None other than head coach Butch Davis. I wonder if they're ever tempted to throw the forearm there. I guess not.
First down and 10 for the Hokies at their own 42. Stitt is the deep back in the I formation. That is Harrison in motion. And Stitt can't spin out of trouble that time. Brought down by Adrian Wilson, the sophomore from Jacksonville, Arkansas.
Now, one of the things that seems to be happening here, Charlie, is as we talked at the top of the show, at the end of the game, you look at Al Clark's statistics and you say, well, what's the big deal? But he always seems to make a big play like that last one, you know, to get his team going in the drive. Now they have 2nd and 12. Be interesting to see what he's able to come up with here in the next 2 plays.
Well, he's going to have to reach into his bag of tricks. It's 2nd down and 12 yards to go. Clark is 7 of 13 for just 62 yards. Out of the eye. With Harrison in motion. Throwing back the other way. Pass is complete. And brought down is Ricky Hall.
And Dan Morgan once again with tremendous pursuit from his linebacker position. Number 44 can fly.
And an injured Miami Hurricane back at the 40-yard line. It appears to be Marquise Fitzgerald. There have been a bunch of players taking a bunch of lumps tonight.
Well, Charlie, remember, Marquise Fitzgerald is substituting for Nate Brooks, who has the separated shoulder. So Miami is having a hard time keeping healthy cornerbacks on the field.
As they attend to Marquise Fitzgerald. And also on the sideline now, Dan Morgan, Miami's leading tackler. This has been a bruising game tonight, being played in oppressive heat and humidity. Next Saturday, College game day at 11 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, and then to the Big Ten, Northwestern and Wisconsin and the Great Dane. And then you will see on the Deuce, Pittsburgh and Alabama and Arkansas and Georgia Tech and North Carolina. That's next Saturday night. Marquise Fitzgerald gets off under his own steam. So meanwhile now it is 3rd down and 9. They have to get to the 48-yard line of Miami, and from the shotgun, Clark is going to be very close to the 1st down.
He's going to be short by a yard, Charlie. Miami that time opted to go with the blitz. Remember, in the first half early, they were going with a lot of different blitzes, coming with 6 and 7 guys in the secondary. This time they flush him out. Clark able to elude it, but it's going to be 4th and about 1.5 here at midfield. And I'm thinking that it's a little early to try to go for it. Although, I don't know. Well,
no, Frank Beamer's not the kind of guy who's going to do that now. Halfway through the 3rd quarter, that's Jimmy Kibble to punt it away. And Nick Ward is standing back at the 10-yard line. It's a high, short kick. Ward with the fair catch. And he dropped the ball. It's loose. And I think Miami was able to hold on.
One of the things that has to happen when you're the return guy, when you're unsure, let it go. Let it go. He was trying too hard to come up and make the catch. You just got to let it go if you're not sure, especially because Kibble has the ability to put it up so high.
Edward Reed, the big play man for Miami, recovered the fumble. And it's Miami's turn when we come back. So Miami narrowly averts some disaster as Edward Reed recovers the muffed fair catch. And this is muffed. And Virginia Tech, Keon Carpenter's got the football. That is the 4th consecutive turnover for Miami.
And Charlie, really, there's no excuse for this. It's the misdirection. It's the counter tray that everybody runs. Where's the ball? His right arm, he never got it. Bounces out. Tough to say who's at fault, but give Carpenter credit for catching that one on the hop. Usually that's a ball that bounces around and causes big bodies to crash all over the place, but instead.
Keon Carpenter, who had a 100-yard pass interception for a touchdown against Miami 2 years ago. With a key turnover here, let's see if Virginia Tech can cash it in. 1st and 10. Pegues up the gut down to about the 13-yard line. Now Larry Beal.
Charlie, update on Florida and Tennessee. T. Martin drops back to pass in a 10-10 game, straight up in the air for Peerless Price. 2 defenders in the area, and that's why they call him Peerless. 17-10 Vols, middle of the 3rd quarter.
Looked like the infield fly rule.
I was about to say that throw drew rain. Very fortunate.
2nd down, 6 to go. Got to get down to about the 7-yard line for the 1st down. Pegues, the deep back in the eye. Here's Clark holding, running. He's got some room. Clark, touchdown, Virginia Tech. 13 yards, and the Hokies lead, 16-13.
Charlie, we mentioned that he is going to make a big play sometime or another. Long play action fake. It looked like he could have been sacked. Then he cuts back against the grain because there are so many people in man coverage with their backs to the quarterback. Able to break some tackles. You can see there. He's not small. I mean, he's not a frail quarterback by any stretch of the imagination.
6'1", 200 pounds, senior from Washington, D.C. And the kick is good. And it is now 17-13. And for the first time all night, the Hokies have the lead. Virginia Tech has capitalized on 4 turnovers and turned them into 14 points.
When the play breaks down, there's nothing like having a mobile quarterback. Al Clark steps back. You'll see all the receivers cut across. You'll see they're in coverage. They've got their backs turned, and once he's able to break contain, he comes to the middle, avoids Webster, takes the shot, but he's in for the touchdown. As we pointed out at the top, Charlie, you said it, as Al Clark goes, so goes Virginia Tech. Touchdown pass and a touchdown run.
He is now responsible for 6 of the 10 touchdowns scored by Virginia Tech this season. Santana Moss fails to get to the 20-yard line. Now let's go to Dean Blevins. Dean.
There's a lot of pressure down here on Butch right now because this is a pivotal game and this is a critical time in the game. An assistant coach a moment ago lost his composure. He had to push him back into the box. One of his players didn't signal to the coaching staff during the extra point, and so there was confusion, and Butch got control of it. He actually got one of his players on the sideline who was not with the rest of the team, brought him over and said, guys, we're as a team, we're working together, so this is a critical point for him. He's been a calming influence.
4 turnovers in their last 4 possessions. Can this young Miami team respond from these mistakes? Not this time. James Jackson brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
What has to happen is that you don't decide that you want to do it on your own. James Jackson does not follow his interference, wants to cut back against the grain and see what he can do, and it's costly. Dean makes a very good point, and that is with regards to Butch Davis. He has been a calming influence. Every time they've had some problems, you've seen him come by and take care of business. There's the block, but once again, Moore in great pursuit, having a terrific game.
Another tackle from behind the line of scrimmage, and now Miami wants to regain his composure, and they're going to call themselves a timeout. With 5 minutes and 46 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, the Hurricanes have to regroup and do so in a hurry. This young Miami team, which played so well in the first half but allowed Virginia Tech to get back into it, has allowed Virginia Tech to take the lead. 4 turnovers on their last 4 possessions. Here's Covington throwing underneath to James Jackson. Jackson across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean?
Guys, it's a mash unit down here on the Miami sideline. The star of the defense, 44, Dan Morgan, has spasms in his shoulder. He should be okay. He'll be back out there. Marquise Fitzgerald, he will be back as well, the cornerback. Leonard Myers out with that ankle early in the 2nd quarter. He will be back. A lot of pressure, though, guys, on Michael Rumpf, the true freshman corner, number 8, who will be in later.
And so now on 3rd down and 7. They have to get just before the 30-yard line for the first down. The pass is complete. First down. And then some to Reggie Wayne, who fumbles the ball again. 5 turnovers in a row for the Hurricanes. Michael Hawks with the recovery. The last 5 possessions have resulted in turnovers.
And what the coach is telling Reggie Wayne right there is he's trying too hard. He wants you to be excited. Wants him to continue to do that and be aggressive. But there's a point to where you have to say that's enough. Wayne with the nice catch, breaks the tackle of Midget. Now right here on the last spin, watch. The ball just comes out. Give John Engelberger credit on his pursuit, stripping the ball, enabling number 43, Michael Hawks, to make the recovery.
Every possession here in the 3rd quarter for Miami has resulted in a turnover. The last one of the first half was also a turnover. So now 1st and 10 in Hurricane territory. Clark brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Derek Ham.
And he's hurt. His foot fell underneath. Hopefully Clark's going to be okay, but his foot folded underneath a little bit.
Now keep in mind, he had knee surgery last year.
Watch that right leg underneath. Oh, gosh, that ankle. That's got to hurt, but he bounced up. Man, young people are so resilient.
Thank goodness it was grass.
Yes, exactly right. Good point.
2nd down and 17 yards to go. The line of scrimmage now at the Hokie 45-yard line. The handoff is to Chiron Stith, who gets back into Miami territory at about the 49-yard line. Dan Morgan has returned to the field, and quite naturally he was in on the tackle along with Damian Lewis.
Dean pointed out the fact that there have been so many people hurt on the defense. This is a big play here, Charlie, for a lot of reasons. One is that Miami certainly wants to go 3 and out here and get their offense back on the field, simply because of the fact, Charlie, the defense has been on the field almost the entire 3rd quarter. They have to be fatigued in this humidity.
It was 84 degrees at kickoff. And humidity to match. 3rd down and 11. Clark appears to be okay. Throwing long over the middle, overthrowing his intended receiver, Bob Slokowski, the tight end.
Slokowski was wide open, Charlie. They just let him go. Take a look. You're going to get a chance to see it. Watch the tight end just come to the middle of the field. These linebackers are terrific in pursuit, but not much on coverage. He's just in the middle, and thankfully they get a pass rush. Otherwise, there he is at the bottom of your screen, just wide open. Clark just couldn't deliver the ball.
And so on 4th down, Leonard Myers is standing back deep at his own 10-yard line as Jimmy Kibble will punt it away. Kibble came into the game with an average of almost 47 yards per punt. No flag. Here's Myers with the fair catch. And he makes it at the 15-yard line. A 33-yard punt, no return.
Interesting, there was actually a smattering of applause, Charlie, for catching the ball. And Butch Davis, ever the optimist, trying to fire up his troops. He's very aware of the fact that they're young. He knows that some people are going to make some mistakes, but they're still only down by 4 points. And if they don't turn the ball over, they might do something good.
Well, let's see if Miami can follow through on a possession. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Jackson is the deep back now behind Covington. And that's Moss in motion, and the flag flies. And here's Jackson across the 25-yard line, but let's see what that flag is all about. Keon Carpenter made the tackle. Referee Dennis Hennigan and the Big East crew, they have been entirely too busy, and it's going against Miami.
Big game for Jackson last year, as we pointed out, for Virginia Tech. We got a chance to see here in the 2nd half up at Blacksburg. That's why they call him the Jet. He gets to the outside, a 79-yard touchdown run. Part of his 140-plus yards.
And he wasn't done yet.
Comes in from 12 yards out. Had a great game last year against Virginia Tech.
9 carries, 142 yards. But Miami's running backs have not really busted one big yet tonight. So it's first down and 15. With the line of scrimmage back at their own 11-yard line. Here's Covington throwing long, and it's nearly picked off by Keon Carpenter, the intended receiver, Santana Moss. And now we pass long to Larry Beal.
All right, Charlie, Florida and Tennessee getting a little wild. Jesse Palmer, time to throw. The bomb. Travis McGriff, 70 yards. Palmer, 14 of 16 for 199 and 2 touchdowns. They're tied at 17.
And so had not the ball tipped off the hands of Keon Carpenter, that would have been the 6th successive Miami turnover. Second down and 15. Jackson down behind the line of scrimmage, and the momentum now resides clearly with the Hokies. That was Ryan Smith, 47, in on the play.
Good pursuit by the front 7 of Virginia Tech. It's actually not a bad call.
Defensive coordinator Bud Foster. His unit in firm control now. "12 years at Va-Tech. The amount of time that Frank Beamer has been controlling the sidelines as the head coach. Third down and 19 for Miami. The Hurricanes have turned into a drizzle here in the third quarter. Covington in trouble. Big trouble. Gets rid of it. Nearly picked off again by Michael Hawks.
Well, Corey Moore, the defensive end, has just been outstanding all night long. One of those, to use the football cliche, whose motor never stops. You can see he's able to get around the defensive tackle, cause some problems, shake him, make him go to the left, and he almost threw an interception. Moore has just been relentless for the Hokies this evening.
And so now Miami will have to punt it away. Andy Crosland deep with the kick. Flag on the play. Here's Harrison at his own 46, running out of bounds at about the 47 of Miami, but there's another flag on the play. That one went 47 yards with a 7-yard return. The flag was around the line of scrimmage. Boy, nothing's going right for the Hurricanes now.
Well, that was actually a pretty good kick by Crosland, so I'm sure that they're going to want to make him do it again. Harrison is averaging 14 yards a punt return. So this would give them an opportunity because he's going to have to stand, pretty close to the end line to set up a return.
So Andy Crosland, who has averaged almost 42 yards per punt in this early season, as long as being 55, will do it again.
Illegal formation on the offense. Only 6 men on the line of scrimmage. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Repeat, fourth down.
In most cases, the snap from the deep snapper to the punter is around 15 yards. So Crosland, and at the 4, actually somewhere between the 3 and the 4-yard line. He's
only got 13, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to have his heels fairly close to the back line.
Miami tonight with 5 turnovers and 10 penalties. And he's lucky to get it out. The high spinner, and here's Harrison, and he makes the fair catch at the 42-yard line. It's a good field position for the Virginia Tech Hokies. With 1 minute and 43 seconds to go, third quarter, and they lead it by 4. This Thursday night, it'll be the Arizona Wildcats and San Diego State's Aztecs. That's at 7:30 Eastern Time. Coverage starts with Thursday Night Game Night, presented by Coors Light, and it all follows SportsCenter.
Ted Tollner's crew always puts on a good show.
And so from the 42-yard line, Virginia Tech in control of this game. They've got a 4-point lead, and Miami needs to regroup and in a hurry. Right up the gut. That is Lamont Pegues to about the 37-yard line, a pickup of 5 or 6 yards on the play, and there's Dan Morgan again making the tackle.
One of the things that Bill Miller is going to have to do here with his front 7 is going to have to start shuffling some people in and out. Miami has been on the field way too much in this quarter on defense. You can see he wasn't touched till he was 5 yards downfield. Bill Miller right here, certainly frustrated by the offense's ineptitude, but Certainly the fatigue of his charges is his concern right now.
Miami gave up 285 points last year on defense, third most in school history. Pegues is going to be in big trouble. Brought down by Derek Ham all the way back at the 49-yard line.
There's a case when you're trying so hard to keep your balance, maybe you're better off just falling down. Pegues runs into the back of his own man, stumbles backward, and costs his team a lot of yards. Ham has been a great player this evening. He's been in a lot of plays, sacks, tackles, good speed for a defensive end.
Last year, the Miami defense allowed 220 yards per game rushing, ranked 100th in the country in rushing defense. The defense has played a whole lot better here tonight. And this could well be the last play of the third quarter. Clark throwing long down the sideline, and it's incomplete, intended for Ricky Hall. 12 seconds left in the third quarter. Delvin Brown there, man for man. And so the defense holds.
Throwing into double coverage. Too deep secondary, and once again, you got to give credit to the Miami defense. The crowd is aware of that as they stand and cheer.
And so on fourth down, here comes Jimmy Kibble and his 47-yard average. The defense tonight has given up a total of 135 yards. So the Miami defense has done its job. High, short kick. Fair catch at the 16-yard line by Leonard Myers. And that's where Miami will take over. Let's go downstairs now to Dean Blevins.
Charlie, you mentioned that run defense last year, incredibly 100th out of 112. You know, many believe Jimmy Johnson's Miami defense has revolutionized how college games was played defensively with the speed. As late as '94, though, Miami was the #1 defense in the country, and the defensive numbers have gone downhill faster than the Marlins. 83rd last year in total defense, and then, as you said, 100th of 112. So probation hurt and some stars going to the pros hurt, but they're disappointing.
Well, now let's see what the offense can do. It's been troublesome here in the third quarter, and it's not getting any better any quicker. As we have come now to the end of the third quarter. James Jackson on the play, and he probably lost 2. So after 3 periods of play, Virginia Tech 17 and Miami 13. It has been turnovers that have absolutely killed the Hurricanes. 5 of them tonight. 1 to end the first half and 4 in the second half. And it's given Virginia Tech 14 of their 17 points. A strange game. Miami led by 3 at the half and badly outplayed Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech has badly outplayed Miami in the third quarter. They lead only by 4. So it's anybody's game here as we begin the final quarter. On second down and long, Covington throwing. Oh, it's caught! Reggie Wayne with only Carpenter to beat. Wayne's still on his feet. He's going to score! 84 yards!
Unbelievable.
They needed the big play, and they got it. Reggie Wayne.
Reggie Wayne is able to out-jump the defender who makes the mistake of going for the interception and mistiming his jump. In this case, boy, oh boy, that was, boy, you can see it. Coach Beamer can't believe it. Frankly, I can't either.
On the first play of the fourth quarter, Miami somehow survives the mistake-laden third quarter, and now they have regained the lead. And here's Crosland with the extra point. Hits the upright. Good! So some early fourth quarter fireworks for the Hurricanes. An 84-yard touchdown pass and run from Covington to Reggie Wayne.
Well, Covington doesn't. Charlton has the pick. He thinks he jumps high, can't do it. Wayne is able to come up with the ball and give Miami credit here. First of all, a great run by Wayne. Now watch the block that he gets downfield. Get a chance once again to see the 6'2" Wayne get up. Makes a great catch and a tremendous run downfield. Now watch the blocks that he's going to get downfield here. Just whacked the guy, is able to get past Prelo and go the distance. A real shot in the arm for the Canes, and very fortunate for Covington, because frankly, Charlie, I think he was just throwing up a jump ball.
Reggie Wayne, who went to the same high school in New Orleans as Cordell Stewart. And that is his 4th touchdown catch of the year, his 2nd of the night.
Well, Reggie Wayne is the go-to guy. He's the guy that came through for him.
And so the Hurricanes, who were just bedazzled in the 3rd quarter with 4 turnovers in as many possessions, come back on the very first play of the 4th quarter and regain the lead.
Charlie, in the 3rd quarter, Miami had all of 60 yards in total offense and 4 turnovers, and suddenly in one fell swoop, they get more than that in one play. And Reggie Wayne, you see the numbers right there. Only a sophomore. He does remind a lot of people of Michael Irvin, and rightfully so.
6'2", 190-pound sophomore. Tyrone Stiff down at the 20-yard line, and it's amazing how momentum can swing, and it has certainly swung now in the favor of the Miami Hurricanes. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dean.
Guys, fullback Cullen Hawkins is out. You can see the x-ray. It clearly shows a dislocated midfoot. They gave him a local anesthesia, put it back in place, and he's on the sidelines now. He'll be out approximately 4 to 6, and this crowd that was booing a few moments ago has come to life.
So Cullen Hawkins, the fullback who scored a touchdown pass in the first half, is out at least a month. So here come the Hokies. Let's see what they can do now. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. That's Harrison in motion and Clark to throw. Throwing on the run and completing it to Reggie Samuel. Across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. Edward Reed with the tackle. There is Reggie Wayne and Santana Moss. Now, what's interesting about these two, Wayne and Moss and Darryl Jones, they have vowed not to get their hair cut until Miami gets into a bowl. They made that vow in preseason practice. 1st and 10 for the Hokies at their own 39. There's Stiff, still on his feet. Into Miami territory, brought down at about the 44-yard line by Edward Reed, a pickup of 19 on the play. And there's an injury down on the field for Virginia Tech. We'll attend to that, but first we'll go to Larry Beal.
All right, Charlie, the National Home Run Watch. Cardinals and Brewers. Mark McGwire, 64 homers. Patrick Braswell does well. Struck him out. McGwire 0 for 3 and hit by the pitch. 3 strikeouts in this game. Cards lead 7-4. Sammy Sosa 0 for 4 today. He's got 63 homers.
Yeah, Sammy with 63 home runs and he's 2nd.
That's amazing.
What a remarkable year it's been.
It really is.
And a final week still to go. There's Scott Covington. And speaking of baseball, tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, it'll be the Reds and Cubs. Also tomorrow, we'll be cutting in live for all of the Mark McGwire at-bats. So this is the place to be, ESPN, for the final week of the Major League Baseball regular season and the home run chase.
So, Charlie, who's your MVP?
You're looking at him. You're looking at him.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You know, in a perfect world, I would love to see them share the co-MVP. But what Sammy has done, he has just put the Cubs on his shoulders here in the past week with all that magic and that grand slam home run the other night to win the game. He drove in all 6 runs in San Diego. I think that probably put him on top. The injured player is Josh Redding, number 79. He's a right guard, sophomore from Hanover, Pennsylvania. And he has been down for quite a while. And he is being held or helped up ever so gingerly and clearly in a lot of pain. And it appears to be a knee.
They had to take off his brace to get to it. Most offensive linemen now have the double braces to protect them.
And he can't put any weight on it now at all.
I was going to say, Charlie, one of the things that you see a lot in football now is you see one of the problems with being an offensive lineman is getting those shots from the back. You just don't know when they're going to come.
So play resumes. 1st and 10 for the Hokies. And the line of scrimmage is the Miami 44-yard line. Here's Clark to throw. Long over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Angelo Harrison all the way down at the goal line.
Clark was under some duress on that throw. A lot of people are talking about the fact that he's not your classic drop back passer, but he shows a lot of courage here. Take a look as he steps up and gets absolutely whacked by Damian Lewis. And here's Harrison with the stride, bumped off his stride just enough that when he lays out, he can't hang on.
Just off the fingertips. 2nd down and 10. This has not been the most aesthetic game of the year, but it's been filled with some big plays. Oh,
and some not so smart.
Yes, Damian Lewis.
That's the 2nd time he's jumped offside.
Miami had 20 penalties for 196 yards in their first 2 games that they won by a combined score of 104-29.
Offside on the defense, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
You saw Butch's reaction on the sideline, and Butch Davis, coach of Miami's reaction. I think it gets to a point here to where, you know, you've seen up to this point he's been clapping and trying to be upbeat, no big deal, but there's a certain point too, like on your 11th penalty, where you just have to say, come on, enough already.
Enough is enough. With the clock running early in the 4th quarter, Stiff is the deep back. And Stiff inside the 35-yard line, brought down by free safety Delvin Brown and Edward Reed, the strong safety.
Once again, a reminder of the missed extra point. Well, Virginia Tech bogs down here, and if Miami can hang on, instead of still being behind, they can tie it up.
1st down on the play.
You know, as you pointed out earlier, Charlie, the number of yards that Virginia Tech had, not that many. The defense for Miami, you can't say enough about it.
And how improved they are from last year. 1st and 10 at the 31. Stiff the deep back. That's Stiff again. He nearly busted it, brought down at the 24-yard line. Michael Smith bringing down Chiron Stiff.
You can see the slow Miami Hurricanes getting off the ground slowly. They've been on the field so much.
Here comes the 5th play of the drive. 2nd down and about 4 yards to go.
Great opportunity here, Charlie, for a play action pass.
Andre Davis is now in the lineup, and that is he in motion. And Clark sidesteps a would-be tackler and is brought down at about the 18-yard line.
You know, they're trying to set up the screen, and what I'm going to say here, Charlie, is you know what, maybe I'm overstating it, but I'm saying 70 to 80% of the quarterbacks get sacked in that situation. Fakes, looks to his left, nobody is there. What do I do? Instead, you can see great job by the secondary in coming up, but once again, Clark able to make something out of it. Instead of having to throw it in the ground and coming up 3rd down, he scrambles around, avoids some tacklers, and gets the 1st down inside the 20.
Reggie Samuel was supposed to be the receiver on that screen. That was busted up, but Clark still made something out of it, including a 1st down.
Don't be deceived by that 19 yards rushing. Of course, that includes the sacks, of which in a lot of cases he's not responsible. He has had some crucial runs in this game this evening.
Miami by 3.
ESPN's presentation of college football is brought to you by Isuzu, specialized worldwide builders of adventure machines. Isuzu, go farther. And by Transamerica, the people in the pyramid are working for you.
The Miami vice tonight has been turnovers, and in spite of 5 of them, The Hurricanes still lead by 3 as we head to the final 11:45 of the fourth quarter, and Virginia Tech is on the move. That is Stith again, short of the first down by about 3 yards, brought down at the 13-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins.
Guys, Josh Redding out. It's apparently a torn cartilage. That's what we're told. He had a problem with that in high school where it's in and out, and apparently it is no ligament damage, though, so that would be good news for him.
They'll take whatever good news they can on Josh Redding as they quickly ice it down. On 2nd down and 4, and the line of scrimmage about the 13-yard line. They give it to the up back, Jarrett Ferguson. And Ferguson is very close to the first down. Jeff Popovich is in on the tackle.
Well, they're getting some big chunks on 1st and 2nd down inside the 20, and that doesn't bode well for the defense of the Canes.
They've played well, but the heat and the humidity and the turnovers by their offense has gotten Bill Miller's defensive troops playing on their heels now. But they have played a very gritty game, this defensive unit of Miami, as they check to see whether or not Virginia Tech got themselves a first down.
Well, Virginia Tech, Charlie, barely has 200 yards total offense, and we're already into the fourth quarter. So, I mean, it's a team game, so you can't say Miami's defense has done its job necessarily, but certainly they've played well enough to win, or certainly be ahead by more than 3 points.
5 consecutive possessions in turnovers. It's cost Miami dearly tonight. And so it is first down and goal from just inside the 10. There's Stith again, and Stith is inside the 5-yard line.
Miami is jamming 8 in the box. They know that they're going to run. And the difficulty here then is that now you know that the Virginia Tech people are starting to hear all the people, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all in the box trying to stop the run, but still Stith able to get nearly 5 yards on this carry. It shows that the offensive line for Virginia Tech is beginning to establish the line of scrimmage in their favor.
The left guard, Dwight Vick, in the center, Keith Short, opened up that hole, and a pickup of 5. 2nd and goal. They give it again to the up back Ferguson, this time to about the 3.
Interesting question here, Charlie, as to whether or not this could be 4-down territory. I think that Frank Beamer is very confident in his offensive line. And now inside the 3-yard line, they can't get a first down. They've got to do something because play action would seem so obvious here. Be interesting to see the call.
The offensive line for Virginia Tech has only 2 returning starters. On the left side, Derek Smith and Dwight Vick, the left tackle and the left guard. On 3rd and goal at the 3. Stith is the deep back. Clark is calling an automatic. There's Stith. Stood up at the 2.
Now the decision is Beamer's, and this is interesting. I think that he'd anticipated. I'm sure he didn't think that he was just going to jump over the line and go in, but wow, boy, oh boy.
He's going to go for the field goal.
See, that surprises me because if you know you're going to go for the field goal there, why not go with the play action? Why not let Clark roll out and run and pass? The guy's been so effective up to this point.
And so Shane Graham, a remarkably consistent field goal kicker, has tied the score on a 19-yard field goal. 8:35 left, and it's anybody's game. 20-20. Tied at 20 with 8.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Coming up next on SportsCenter, Linda Cohn and Bob Stevens. And they'll have highlights of Messrs. McGuire and Sosa, tell you what happened at the Mike Tyson hearing today. And Evander Holyfield is fighting tonight against the vaunted Vaughn Bean. And that is Darrell Jones standing deep along with Santana Moss awaiting the kick. And Jimmy Kibble. The high, deep kick. And Moss at the goal line. Moss still on his feet. Moss with a terrific return to about the 31-yard line. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins.
Guys, a lot happened on the sideline before that third down call. Frank Beamer okayed the play call, giving credit to Ricky Bussell, saying, yeah, that's the third down call we want. Al Clark audibled at the line of scrimmage into the play that they had been running. Obviously, it did not work, but Frank Beamer did not hesitate at that point in kicking the field goal. I agree with you, Todd. I think they had something called to the outside, and Al probably mischecked on that.
Well, Dean, when you get in that situation, usually if you go off tackle, that means you're going for it on fourth. But you feel that you can attack, third down in that situation. You got a great runner like Clark. I didn't understand that. But again, we saw something we didn't.
And so 1st and 10 now. Miami at their 31-yard line. Edgerrin James in the backfield, but Covington's going to throw, and he's going to complete it to Reggie Wayne across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Should be enough for the first down.
Reggie Wayne having a huge game, over 150 yards receiving now. Runs a nice route.
So the Hurricanes with the first down on this series.
Charlie, you mentioned Edgerrin James. We had not seen him since the second fumble, but now with 8 minutes remaining in the game, they go back to their go-to guy, who, if I'm not mistaken, is pretty close to 100 yards.
And Reggie Wayne has certainly been the go-to guy in the air. That's Fulcher in motion, and that's James. Can he get around? He is belted down at the 45-yard line by Keon Carpenter, and boy, he has had an outstanding game. Carpenter, the free safety.
Well, he would not let James get around him, and James certainly has the speed to do just that. Take a look at the front seven of Virginia Tech. They're going to stuff the play between the tackles and force James to cut to the outside. Look at the push by the Virginia Tech people, and James able to do what he can. Deals with the stiff arm. You're right, Charlie. Carpenter's had an outstanding game.
There's an injury on the play for Miami. It's the freshman right guard, Martin Bibla. And he is limping off now. A slight limp. But this heat and humidity is taking a toll on both of these teams. Frankly, surprised I'm not seeing more cramping here tonight.
Bibble, the right guard right here. You can see at the end of the play, his ankle turns a little bit. I think a lot of that, though, Charlie, is fatigue more than anything else.
I think you're right. 2nd down and 8. Here's Covington in trouble, throwing and overthrowing his intended receiver, the tight end Bubba Franks, and that's a name we haven't called all night.
Well, last year in the game against Virginia Tech, he was a prominent player, making a number of catches. And Butch Davis made the point with regards to Franks that he is not one-dimensional. He helps them immensely in both the run and pass game. 6'6", 245.
He was their second leading receiver last year. Still awaiting his first reception of the night. So 3rd down and 8 at the 45-yard line. Edgerrin James a single setback. 4 wides on 3rd and 8. Covington in trouble. Covington down at the 32-yard line. Carl Bradley is there. And so is John Engelberger.
Well, it's the old joke from the offensive linemen of yore, which is these are the lookout blocks. Look out, Covington, because from the middle, they just break down. And as you mentioned, Bradley and Engelberger all over him. Covington had no chance.
A loss of 10. It's 4th down and 18. Here's Andy Crosland's left-footed kick, and it's a beauty, sending Angelo Harrison back to his own 15-yard line. But did he overkick his coverage? Brought down at the 40-yard line by Santana Moss, and Virginia Tech on a 50-yard punt and a 25-yard return with good field position.
He's entertaining now. I mean, he's pretty good. Special teams has been a big issue. Special teams has been a big issue in this particular game between Virginia Tech and Miami. The kicking game, as documented by Dean Blevins at the top of the show, was going to be a big issue. First of all, you had the blocked punt by Nate Brown, which gave Miami good field position. And then the blocked extra point by John Engelberger, which looms huge now. Instead of being down by 1, the score is tied. Shane Graham, the reliable place kicker, pushes one wide for Virginia Tech. Certainly special teams have been an issue this evening.
And a 25-yard punt return by that man, Angelo Harrison, has given Virginia Tech excellent field position. 1st and 10 at their own 40-yard line. Lamont Pegues is now back in the lineup as the deep back. And Pegues gets nothing, brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Damian Lewis is in on the tackle, and Scott Covington trying to get some fresh air. Let's go downstairs once again to Dean Blevins.
Guys, it's a bruised shoulder. The trainers tell me he's never had a problem with it before. He's been getting it massaged. He'll be back in. Shouldn't be that big a problem.
And this is where Covington got hit and suffered the bruised shoulder, but apparently is okay. It is oppressively hot and humid here tonight. Here's Clark. He's going to keep it and throw it long over the middle, and it's complete to the tight end, Derek Carter. For Carter, his first catch of the night at the 45-yard line of Miami, and that's a first down, a pickup of 17.
Remember a couple of series ago, near the end of the first half, they had their tight end wide open in the middle. Finally, Virginia Tech goes back to that play. Take a look at the tight end right here and see what happens here in the middle of the field. This is where the tight end operates between the hashes, able to get the inside release. Nobody goes with him. Look at this, how he just settles down in the middle of the field, wide open. Nice adjustment to catch the ball a little bit behind him.
So it's 1st and 10 now for Virginia Tech at the Miami 45-yard line. Chiron Stiff is the single setback, and that is Stiff. And he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Chris Campbell was in on the play, 48. No gain, 2nd down, 10.
Once again, Virginia Tech not in a hurry, but now time becomes an issue. There's only 5 minutes left in the game.
Both teams with 2 timeouts left, clock running. Under 5 minutes to play. Harrison and Handy are flanked out to the left or the top of your screen. Here's Clark in trouble. Clark goes down. Derek Ham with the sack.
You know what, Charlie, I think he felt him, but he didn't realize that this guy could run as well as he did.
And Clark is down.
I'm saying I really don't think that he felt him as quickly as he did. Here's Ham on the pass right. Oh, nice 360 move. He stole that from Tom Jackson. He used to do that for the Denver Broncos. He doesn't see him coming. He gets spiked trying to brace himself. I think maybe his foot might have been caught. But he bounced up and he's okay.
Clark is okay, but he's limping around some. Now remember, Al Clark had knee surgery last year. And Virginia Tech is going to take a timeout, and Clark is going to go regroup. 20-20 with 4:11 to go in the game. Al Clark, after getting a breather, seems to be okay.
Yeah, that was a fortuitous time to take it because he really needed to regroup. He was shaken up. Ham comes in out of nowhere and just blasts him. Take a look at the bottom. His ankle gets a little bit stuck in the grass right there. You see the left ankle, and then he gets rolled on top. If indeed the last play, Charlie, he would have had to go out. Instead, he calls timeout, and now he's in on this crucial 3rd and very long.
Virginia Tech 3 out of 14 on 3rd down tries. Oh, as he gets popped, and is nearly caught by Ken Handy. And Al Clark got just nailed as he released the ball.
Webster is playing the middle backer, and he's trying to take anything underneath. As soon as Clark steps up, his responsibility is gone. He goes after the quarterback. But I tell you, Al Clark took that shot. He really wanted Handy to come up with that one.
Take a look at this pop.
He's just completely vulnerable. His eyes are downfield. Pow! Webster catches him right in the chest underneath the chin. Boy, Clark's a tough kid.
On 4th down, here's Kibble's punt. Leonard Myers with a fair catch.
Well, that's big now because that's going to set him back to the 5. Evidently, he signaled fair catch, changed his mind, started to run. So that's going to be a penalty against Miami.
A 45-yard punt, and yet another penalty for Miami. Their 12th penalty of the night.
Dead ball, delay a game, on the receiving team, advancing the ball after signaling for a fair catch, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Leonard Myers may not have thought it, but watch his right hand. Here the ball is kicked. Watch what he does. Oh, wait, no. Well, that's too late. The hand is up. They got to call it. Good job of the official being right on top of it.
And so Miami, 95 yards to go. They've got 2 timeouts left. Edgerrin James is in trouble. Safety.
I don't think so. No, the side judge came over. He was able to lean the ball forward far enough.
Wow.
That was close.
Inside the 1.
Charlie, one of the things, we keep harping on the youth, but one of the things that some of these young people need to be aware of is game situations. The jumping off sides when it's 2nd and 5, or in this situation, you're on your own end zone, you got to get out of the end zone. Edgerrin James is looking to make a big play. Instead, he just needs to get out of there. Now right here, he cuts back. He's in the back of the end zone, and that's a good call. He's able to get the ball across the goal line. And let me also point out, Charlie, the right side of
Here's Covington throwing long. Incomplete, flag on the play. Reggie Wayne, the intended receiver. Lauren Johnson apparently with a hold.
And Lauren Johnson's going to say, what's up? Of course, in the college game, it doesn't matter if it's not catchable. And that's the beef that he's having with the official. He's saying, what's up?
Wow.
And that's a 15-yard gift from Miami, and Frank Beamer can't believe it.
First penalty of the second half for Virginia Tech, and it couldn't have come at a worse time.
Reggie Wayne has been the guy all night. Cuts to the outside, and here's Lauren Johnson. A little bit now. Boy, oh boy. Charlie, that's pretty ticky-tack. That's not interference. That's too bad.
1st and 10 for Miami. Let's see if they can capitalize on this gift at their own 16-yard line. Miami 2 timeouts left. Virginia Tech has 1. That's Fulcher in motion. James across the 15 to about the 17, maybe gained a yard or 2 on the play. Michael Hawks and Ike Charlton combined to make the tackle. We have not seen the freshman running back, Najee Davenport, tonight. It's either been Edgerrin James or James Jackson. Edgerrin James getting most of the play, and now James is coming out of the lineup. James with 17 carries, 96 yards.
Well, I was about to say, Charlie, one of the concerns of Davenport is not picking up all the protections. In a game of this magnitude, you can't afford those kind of mistakes.
Clock running, 2.5 minutes to go. Fulcher in motion. Here's James Jackson. Fails to reach the 20. It'll be 3rd down, about 7 yards to go. Keon Carpenter in on the tackle along with Pearson Prelo.
I'm wondering if the thinking here, as you look at Butch Davis, Charlie, as we head down to the 2-minute mark, is that maybe he's content because of the bad field position to get into overtime. He hopes. He doesn't want to make a mistake down here at his end of the field where an easy field goal can put him out of it, because obviously the way they've been doing this here is indicative of the fact that they're not going to go after it.
That never-ending dilemma. Do you play to win or you play not to lose? Clock running, minute 50. Well, they're going for it. They're throwing over the middle. It's incomplete, intended for Santana Moss. It'll be 4th down.
A difficult throw across the middle over coverage. I would have, in that situation, maybe a screen pass or something a little safer, because what's happened now, Charlie, is with the incompletion, the clock stops at 1:44. Santana Moss with the deep slant route, just a little bit too far. Prelo on the coverage.
And now with Andy Crosland punting it away with that left foot.
Get a fumble, baby. Get a fumble, baby.
Relatively short kick fielded by Angelo Harrison. And down he goes at the 46-yard line. A 36-yard punt, a 1-yard return. Now remember, Miami lost a heartbreaker at Blacksburg last year, 27-25, when they were unable to complete a 2-point conversion late in the game. Leonard Myers is hurt. Myers suffered a sprained ankle earlier in the game and came back, and now he's hurt again.
Well, essentially with a great leg, you're looking at about 25 yards to get into field goal position with 1:34 remaining.
And Jimmy Kibble is an outstanding field goal kicker. His longest this year is 53 yards. So Myers is getting up. So they have miles to go before they sleep. They need about 25 yards or so, maybe 30, to get into reasonable field goal position for Virginia Tech's Shane Graham.
Well, Graham did have a 53-yarder last week, but again, that's optimal. So I'm with you. 25 to 30 yards.
As long as his 53. So as Myers comes off to the sideline, Virginia Tech has 1 timeout left. Miami has 2. And we are tied at 20. 4 wide. Clark from the shotgun. Handoff underneath Chiron Stiff, and he's brought down at about the 50-yard line.
Interesting here how Ricky Bussell is going to manage the time and the plays. Out of the 4 wide receiver set, they come up with a quick huddle, but they're not going to call timeouts until they absolutely need to. They have plenty of time, 1:14 of the clock running.
2nd down and 7. Blocked at the line of scrimmage by number 92, Damian Lewis. 3rd down and 7.
Interesting point that sometimes, Charlie, when you don't get the great pass rush, you can sit back and read the quarterback's eyes and jump up and get a piece of it. That's exactly what happened in that case. And I'm surprised here that they're coming up the line of scrimmage without a huddle. The clock is stopped. Why not huddle and make sure of your 3rd down play?
From the shotgun, Clark fires. It is complete to Ricky Hall, but short of the 1st down by about 2 yards. Al Blades, Benny's and Brian's little brother, with the tackle.
And I'm telling you right here, Charlie, we're heading to overtime. I don't think Virginia Tech can afford the luxury here of going for it and not coming up with it and giving Miami the ball close to midfield. In fact, I think that's what they're doing right now. They're letting the clock run.
Well, Frank is going to call timeout.
Well, now, if he was going to call timeout, he wasted about, what, 15, 20 seconds there.
Last half minute, tied at 20. We are back. The last 32 seconds of regulation. It is 4th down and 1.
Charlie, Miami doesn't even have a deep guy. They're content for overtime, too. They're going to watch and see if it's a fake.
It is a fake. Little pitch out, Jimmy Kibble, 1st down.
But a flag is down, Charlie. I think that Virginia Tech was in a formation they weren't supposed to be in.
Well, Jimmy Kibble called back. Flag on the play.
Frank Beamer is livid. He's livid. He thought they had the requisite people in the line of scrimmage. I think that's what's going to be the call. And now they've changed their mind, it appears.
Dennis Hennigan, the referee. They picking up the flag.
There is no penalty on the play. 1st down.
So they get the 1st down. Now, did Kibble step out of bounds?
I don't think it was stepping out of bounds, Charlie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and down here you have your 7th man on the line of scrimmage. I think that they thought because this guy was too far back that they were going to call it, because Engelberger, his motion is fine.
But Kibble did go out of bounds on the run. Had he not, of course, he would have been gone for the touchdown. So now suddenly 27 seconds are left. Virginia Tech has no timeouts remaining. Miami has 1 left. Sports Center is coming up immediately after this game. At the cone, Bob Stevens standing by. Figure that Virginia Tech needs roughly 12 to 15 yards to get into reasonable field goal position. 12 yards will get him about a 47-yard field goal try, makeable for Shane Graham, whose longest this year is 53.
I'm really surprised. Something else here is that we pointed out that Miami did not have a deep man. They didn't have a deep man, so they've got 11 guys essentially to go up there and play defense. And how they could let this go is really a little bit unconscionable, because they were set up for that very thing.
And so now, with no timeouts left, the line of scrimmage is the 43. 4 wides. Clark in the shotgun. Clark throwing over the middle, and it's complete to Ricky Hall. Clock stops as they move the chains. 20 seconds to go. A pickup of 14. They're in field goal range for Shane Graham. And he drops the ball. 18 seconds.
We haven't called Ricky Hall's number much tonight, Charlie. He's been big over the last couple of games. 3 catches, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But he certainly came up with a clutch catch here.
Virginia Tech beat Miami by 2 last year. 2nd down and 10 at the 28. In field goal range right now. About 45-yard field goal. But here's Clark throwing, sideline, and completing it to Reggie Samuel inside the 20-yard line. 12 seconds left, and here's Shane Graham.
Great protection on the part of the offensive line for Virginia Tech, giving Clark plenty of time to deliver the ball on this deep out route. That's very costly, because 47 yards, that's a tough one, Charlie, but now we're looking at about 35, 36. Very different. In fact, that's the reason why they keep the statistic inside the 40 yards, inside 40 yards for kickers.
Miami calls timeout. They'll let Graham think about it. It'll be about a 35-yard field goal try. Hash mark to the left. Now keep in mind, Shane Graham has his own personal holder. It happens to be his cousin, Caleb Hurd. He was his holder in high school, and he came to Virginia Tech as a walk-on to be cousin Shane's personal holder. And there's cousin Caleb. Now let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins. Dino?
Guys, wind not a big factor. It's really blowing up right to left. Coach Beamer has been unbelievably composed here in the last few minutes. Several key decisions. You know, that the kick a moment ago when they had the fake was big, and then Todd, when they picked up that extra yardage, that was critical here, because, you know, if you'll think back to the last series, they had the penalty that went against them that cost them yardage. They were able to make up that yardage by throwing the pass there on the last play.
And so it shall be a 45-yard field goal try. Correction, 35-yard. A 35-yard field goal try, hash marked to the left. And this is for the ball game or overtime. Snap is good. Kick is on its way. No good. The Hurricanes are still alive.
Caleb Hurd makes a nice catch here. The snap is just a little bit to the right. He's able to come up with it and get it down. It just appeared that he pushed it. His reaction will tell it all. He thinks he's got it, and now he knows he doesn't. Claps his hands, knows he's pushed it right. And Frank Beamer, I thought his reaction was interesting. Butch Davis, of course, is a very happy man knowing that we're going into overtime at our place. And what can Frank Beamer say? Look at that reaction. Holy cow. And Ricky Bussell, who had made so many good calls down the stretch here in this last series, frustrated over Graham's inability to put it between the uprights.
And so we are going to overtime.
Now, overtime rules for the uninitiated are that one team is going to get the ball and get their attempt to score, and then the other team will. Now, as you get a chance to take a look at the overtime rules, here they are. Coin toss for the choice of offense or defense, and each team gets one possession from opponent's 25-yard line per overtime until it's decided. The game clock is irrelevant, the play clock only. Teams must go for 2 after the second OT, and of course those of you that follow college football closely know that the last couple of years games would end up 21-21 in regulation and ended up like 56-55, so that's the reason for that. In overtime games in Division I thus far, there have been 56. 36 times when the team has won the toss, they have won the game.
Shane Graham, who missed a 35-yarder wide right.
And in the overtime game, Tennessee finally able to get off the schneis, as it were, and defeat Florida in overtime by a field goal.
What do you think?
A lot of happy people in Knoxville is what I think.
What do you think about Peyton Manning's thinking? He couldn't, after all the wonderful years he had at Tennessee, just couldn't beat those Gators, and T. Martin tonight does.
Well, different teams, different year. That's college. Give Phil Fulmer and his staff a lot of credit.
So now Butch Davis, who has been sweating bullets tonight. Game time temperature was 84 degrees, and the humidity was about that. So the heat and humidity has taken its toll on players and fans alike, but is remarkable considering all the adversity and 5 consecutive turnovers by his Miami team. Managed to stay in the game. And Shane Graham
trying to be upbeat, you can see. Look at that. Got a smile on his face. He's telling guys, I'm sorry. If you give me another opportunity, I'll come through for you.
He's got that Huck Finn look, doesn't he?
Yeah, he kind of does.
And so here comes the toss of the coin. Al Clark.
Lauren Johnson.
Starting from the 25-yard line, going in. Each team has 1 timeout for the overtime period. The timeouts do not carry over if we go into a second overtime. If we're still tied after 2 overtimes, then you score, you have to go for 2 points. Okay? We're going to do a coin toss now. You guys will call it. You choose offense, defense, or which end of the field you want to start on. And you choose the opposite. Tails. Heads it is, you won the toss. You want to play defense?
Miami has won the toss.
There you saw the number. They added that number to the 36 of 56 that I had mentioned because Tennessee had won the toss tonight. So when we come back, boy, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're getting your money's worth.
And so we will begin this first overtime period with Virginia Tech having the football at the 25-yard line. See what they can do with this possession. Stiff is the single back in the I formation, or the deep back. And there's Stiff right up the gut, and he gave maybe 2. And there is the ever-present Dan Morgan and Derek Ham. Both have played an outstanding game tonight.
Once again, I mentioned the fatigue factor. Doesn't seem to be now. I think that Miami has a little bit of juice because of the missed field goal. They have some momentum. Now, there's got to be a fair amount of pressure on Shane Graham here, Charlie, because if for whatever reason they go 3 and out here, he'd be looking at another field goal like the ones that he's missed.
Morgan has been on 15 tackles tonight. That is the 6th consecutive game where he's had at least 15. Clark from the shotgun, and he calls timeout. They only have 1 timeout, and they're using it now.
Charlie, if Body English is any indication, Virginia Tech was really out of sorts. He felt he had to do it, so he uses the 1 timeout.
On the night, Al Clark, 13 of 25 for 129 yards. He has also carried the ball 13 times. 41,155 here at the Orange Bowl. And 2nd and 9. Clark throwing toward the end zone. Did he get it? Yes! Ricky Hall.
What a great catch. Nick Ward, the cornerback, would have been better advised just to knock the ball down. Inevitably, you've got a situation where you go for an interception and it costs you, and this is one of those times. Geez, we hadn't mentioned Hall much all night, and there it is near the end of regulation, and now he comes up with some huge plays.
Now it's 26-20. Shane Graham with the extra point try. 27-20. Now it will be Miami's turn.
Well, Miami was actually in a pretty good coverage for this. They have him bracketed. He lofts it up, and Ward is there, or so he thinks, to backpedal right here, run and make the interception. Instead, Hall out jumps him for the ball, and dual possession is always going to go to the offense. But in this case, really, it isn't dual possession. Look at the concentration by Hall hanging onto the ball. Excellent job by that wideout.
Actually caught it off the face mask of Ward. And there's Al Clark, and boy, has he taken a beating tonight. And so Virginia Tech now leads. Hall has 4 receptions tonight, 47 yards. And the leading touchdown. Now it's up to Miami. No margin for error. And they have problems on the first snap of overtime. It's been uphill for the Hurricanes all night.
But once again,
illegal snap by the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Their 13th penalty of the night.
Well, one thing's for sure, though, here, Charlie, it's 4-down territory. So, you know, so that can, I guess the reason I point that out is that they're not in a hurry. They don't have to throw a 20-yard touchdown pass here. They can still run the ball, get some short passes.
Well, here's Covington, and he's in trouble again. Brought down by Corey Moore. What a game he has played.
Been outstanding. Gets him from the back. He actually gets him. He's actually on the ground. Take a look at Moore, rushing upfield, 218 pounds, comes around, gets held, still able to get Covington down.
Got around Damon Neely, the left tackle. And so now, 2nd down and 21. Here's Covington. In trouble again. Brought down at the 47-yard line by Corey Moore.
Engelberger is the guy who's able to come, and he gets off of Gonzalez at the right tackle, gets in his face. We had talked about the struggles of some of the young offensive linemen for Miami. In this case, Gonzalez just cannot hold Engelberger out.
3rd down and 31. Remember, Miami can still get the first down and keep this going.
If there's such a thing as a prevent defense for Virginia Tech, now would be the time.
And they are in it. 3 are standing about 25 yards from the line of scrimmage deep. Here's Covington throwing long and completing it. And out of bounds goes Andre King. So it will be 4th down and about 15 yards for the first down. This could be the last play of the game for the Hurricanes.
Somebody we haven't heard from, only thrown to one time, has been Franks. This is a great opportunity to go to 3 wide set, have Franks sneak in the middle down the seam, because they're going to go with a 3 deep package, and they're going to back up into the end zone to prevent a big play. Franks could sneak in there in the middle of the field and make a catch.
So this may well be the last play of the game. Wayne and King and Moss are the wide receivers. Covington to throw. Covington rolling. Stopping, throwing, and that's the ball game. Virginia Tech in overtime defeats Miami 27-20. The Visa players of the game tonight from Virginia Tech. It was Al Clark, and what a night he had. 13 of 25, 139 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Reggie Wayne, a brilliant wide receiver from Miami, 6 catches, 153 yards. So that's going to do it from the Orange Bowl. A thriller in overtime. Virginia Tech beats Miami 27-20. Todd Christensen and Dean Blevins, Charlie Steiner saying goodbye. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Stay tuned now for SportsCenter. Linda Cohn, Bob Stevens, next.